friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. Because there weren't too many hungry gals there, we've had leftovers every meal, every day since Wednesday.
We have. And I normally have a 3-day rule on leftovers before they get tossed. I
submitted for an extension, folks. I was like, look, I know you have a 3-day rule. I need you to extend that a little bit. We got a lot of groceries here. And they're too good. They're too good. There's too much.
I had it 4 days in a row, and I'm done. So you can add the rest of those leftovers.
Yeah.
It's going to make you sick.
You can find Fort Worth Roots on all of your favorite streaming services, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and many others. You can also go to our website at fortworthroots.com. This episode, along with almost every other episode we've got, is on YouTube. There are videos associated with this, so for YouTube or any of the other social media accounts, just look for Fort Worth Roots. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. We'll tell you about all of our sponsors and other events that we got coming up. Real quick, we do want to highlight Wavy Digital. You can find them on Instagram as Wavy Digital with 2 V's, WAVVY Digital. They're going to be the presenting sponsor for our December 16th Christmas party, in-house warming, open house, whatever you want to call it. It's the first time that we have had our doors open to the public, and you guys are invited. December 16th at noon, and if you would like the address, the information, just DM me and I can send it to you. We also have a flyer on all of our social media links that you can dig up, but you can also contact us, media@fortworthroots.com, for all the information. We are going to have Richard Keller on stage playing for you guys. We're going to do a Christmas tree decorating event. We also have a photo booth set up for you guys, and we're going to have some finger foods. I'm really excited because this is something that we've wanted to do for over a year now. Bring you guys to the studio and let you see what we're working on. It's not totally done, but it's getting close. And if you're a musician, a podcaster, an artist, or anybody that might need a rehearsal space, a podcasting space, or just a creative space, that's what we've set the podcast studio up for. It's for all those things. And we're going to be offering 10% off of our packages on the day of the event. So come out, check out the studio. If that's all you want to do is just peruse what we got going on there. And then if you decide that it'd be a great place for your band, your podcast, or whatever else you got going on creatively, we'll give you 10% off of that deal. Again, Wavy Digital is our presenting sponsor, and they will be there with us at the event December 16th at the Fort Worth Roots Podcast Studio, starting at noon, and you are invited. We did this last year, and I wanted to give it another shot, and I think we're going to do it every year. It's called Friendsgiving. This is our Friendsgiving 2023 episode, and listen, I want to be very clear about this. This is not a favorites competition. I reached out to a handful of people. They were the first ones I called, and they said yes, so we did a recording together. Not to take anything away from these people, because they are very important to me. They are some of the most important people that I know in the city of Fort Worth and that have been with me along my journey in the podcasting world. So I'm very grateful for these people. But if you did not get a phone call or a text from me asking you to come be a part of our Friendsgiving episode, it's not because I don't love you. And I'll probably be giving you a call for another one or a full episode very soon. We kicked things off with Cassandra Laurence, a very talented local artist that's been on the show before and has been very supportive. She's played for us at events, and she's just an all-around great person. And so that first recording is with her. Then we roll right into our episode with Matthew Broyles and Trista Morris, and that one goes a long time, of course. These were supposed to be 20-minute segments, and every time I sit down with Matthew, it just always goes over. So that's the longest segment. That's the second recording that we did in this lineup. And then it starts getting a little foggy after that. I think we did Jeff Zero, a local musician from the Fort Worth area, our buddy Jarrod from Tales from the Fort podcast. And then finishing things up, we had Casey Smith and his friend Munz. Casey, of course, is the owner of McFly's and a sponsor of the show. And then our dear beloved co-host, Megan, sets in reluctantly at the very end of the episode. And we're very grateful that she allowed me to bug her early in the morning before she went to work. And I just had to have her in the show. So anyway, she'll be closing things out with us in the end there. And if you get confused on the lineup, you can look at the show notes. I'll have it listed there for you. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know that we did. Spent a little bit of time with the family, got to hang out with a bunch of friends, and maybe one of the best Thanksgivings so far. In this episode, you're going to hear us talk a lot about what we're thankful for, and if I didn't say it during the episode, I need you to know as a listener, I am so grateful that you guys continue to support us, show up to our shows, and continue to listen to the episodes as we put them out. Thank you so much, and we just could not be where we are today without your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. That is enough talking out of me. Thank y'all for being here, and let's start the show. Cassandra May Lawrence, welcome back to the Fort Worth Roots podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. Happy Thanksgiving.
We got a whole nother half pot of coffee that you got to drink before you can leave.
Okay, I'll do my best.
It's probably too hot now to drink.
I haven't even tried it yet.
Yeah.
I just kind of anticipated it being too hot.
So we were talking about how people that drink their coffee black are obviously psychopaths. And the problem I run into with black coffee, the only problem I have is that it's always so damn hot. It's too hot. So if you need to pop that thing off and just let it air out for a bit, that's okay too.
I might do that.
I think the reason that it is so hot is because everybody puts creamer or some kind of additive to it and it cools their coffee down.
Right. Whereas just getting the goods.
Yeah. Meanwhile, us Vikings are over here burning the roofs of our mouths and scolding our tongues.
Yeah. You got to do it Viking style with one leg up.
Is that Viking? I thought that was like pirates, captains.
Well, Vikings were captains.
They had their own boats.
They would go and, well, I don't want to talk about what they did. But
they were like large canoes though, right?
I'm not sure. Maybe large canoes, but also large ships. I'm not certain about what method they used.
They had superior ships, but they were a lot smaller than what you would think of as far as like an ocean-faring ship. It's typically like a ship that you're going to put out on the open sea needs to be a certain size so they can handle but these guys were Vikings and out of their minds and just bloodthirsty. And so they ventured out across the open ocean in boats that were just a little bit bigger than kayaks, I think, canoes, whatever. The more you know, and I'm probably totally wrong anyway.
Well, I don't know. Have you done an in-depth study on it?
I went through.
Maybe you have.
I went through a phase where I couldn't get enough Viking this, Viking that. There was a special that was, I think, originally aired on the History Channel, and then other networks picked it up. But I think it was just called Vikings.
I haven't seen it yet. Well, I say yet as if I anticipate watching it. I don't know if I even will. I don't really watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, it was very violent.
Fun fact: I've got some Viking blood.
Do you really? Mm-hmm. How do you know this?
I did. I did a DNA test. I think it was Ancestry.com or something like that back in 2018. So I'm part Scandinavian.
Yeah, my uncle did that, and the results he got back. And apparently, they want you to buy new packages, so you go a little deeper into your lineage and find out more about your bloodline. And he kept giving them money, and they kept giving him results. And after a while, he just got to a point where he's like, "That's enough." But apparently, we're just mutts. We came from everywhere.
A lot of us are.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's just interesting to find out. Not like you identify with those things, but it's just little attributes that you have.
I'm a Texan.
Yeah.
I'm from the Texas part, and everybody else is from the not Texas part.
Yeah. Exactly. Identifying with where you are, where you're from. Mm-hmm. You got Texas blood.
So tell us about your Thanksgiving.
Us against them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really nice, that's a nice attitude to have. I'm kidding. I have a dry sense of humor. I'm being very sarcastic right now.
Well, you can go both ways with that. I mean, I think to a certain extent, it's good to have a little bit of pride in where you're from, but also, don't push it, right?
Yeah.
Some people go a little far with it.
Yeah, there's a healthy balance there for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
Spend some time with family.
Talk about something else.
We got to talk about it. This is the Friendsgiving episode.
Okay, well, I did have a Friendsgiving, and it was really incredible. I got to hang out with my friends that I hadn't seen in a very long time. I think, well, I'm not really sure, but they drove up from Austin, and we had a little outside gathering and also an inside gathering.
Just at someone's house, or?
Yeah, at her sister's, one of my friend's sister's houses. And so, yeah, we just kind of got to spend some time and eat some really good food. And they actually made vegan food for me, which was like not expected, but definitely appreciated. And it just seems nice whenever someone does do that, because I already just anticipate not being able to eat any of the food at food gatherings. Yeah. So I'm just like, whatever. It's not, I didn't come here for the food. Yeah. You know, I came here for the conversation and connection.
But also it's nice to eat. It's nice to not be hungry. Yeah.
Well, yeah, totally. Yeah. So the fact that they cared enough to do that and consider me made my heart so happy.
It's awesome. So Megan, our co-host, my girlfriend, she is gluten-free. And that's a whole thing every time you go somewhere. So totally. I'm much more compassionate towards people that are on any kind of dietary restriction now that I'm kind of living that life with her, alongside her, you know, trying to hunt down the gluten-free options and whatnot. So December 16th, we're having a little Christmas party here. It's mainly for you guys, my friends, and our other friends, our listeners. So right here at the studio, it's going to be the first time we've had it open to the public. And that's why I've been busy trying to make this place look a little more professional.
It definitely does. And like I was saying earlier, that sign out front really ties it in.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wood Post Metalworks, shout out.
Shout out.
Yeah. I was telling Cassandra that the sign that we got on the front of the studio was supposed to be like a third that size. And so, well, not like they messed anything up. They sent me the dimensions, but initially whenever we talked about putting that sign on the front of the studio, I was like, something modest. Doesn't have to be big.
Modest.
And they showed up with that thing and went to affix it to the front of the studio, and I'm like, Jesus, that thing is a monster.
Yeah, and you want everyone to know where you are. Well, the people that are
no way to hide now
enough to notice the sign.
Yeah. It's another thing I was telling you. I was expecting our Instagram followers to just shoot through the roof.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
Over time.
Yeah. Exactly.
People know where you're at now.
So you've been busy. I try to share as much of your stuff as I can. I tell everybody, tag me so I don't miss anything. And you're usually really good about that. You'll tag me and it'll show up as a message on my Instagram, and then I just add it. So, but you've just been incredibly busy. You're gigging every week.
Yeah.
Especially on the weekends, right?
Yeah, totally.
Do you have any new residencies?
No, I don't actually, but it's interesting that you asked me that, because just last night I was thinking I want a residency. Yeah. Because I haven't actually went somewhere seeking out a residency yet since I sought out the Magnolia Wine Bar when I had a residency there, and then Hotel Revel, it kind of just turned into a residency. But anyway, that would be great. So if anyone's listening, I want a residency at your place if it's optimal.
How do they find you?
How would they find me? CassandraMailerOnce@gmail.com.
There you go.
Email me.
Hurry up. What are you waiting for? Pull your email out now.
Yeah.
Are you? I'm probably completely mistaken, but I don't remember seeing anything recent from Hotel Revel. Are you still gigging there?
Oh, no. I was just referencing the residency. Okay. No. That didn't work out. I don't know if I should share.
Well, that's up to you. I don't want to get you in trouble or.
Well, I won't get in trouble. I'll just say that they ended up not really wanting to pay me my value, so I left. Okay. So it was just kind of like it's
not super hard feelings, just
yeah.
We're done here.
It wasn't in alignment anymore, but I had so much fun there, and it was really beautiful being able to cultivate a community there. And once I started doing open mics there, it was really great because I got to see a lot of my musician friends show up, and we all got to be together at the same place. Yeah. And be able to, share our music and whatnot. So, yeah, I had a lot of fun there. So I left on a good note.
Good. So maybe that'll match up with what your intentions are at some other point.
Yeah.
Maybe. Lots of good places around town, though.
Yeah, there are.
So
I like playing at wine bars, I've noticed.
Really?
Yeah.
Just kind of fits the vibe?
Yeah, people are more calm and collective there. They're more interested in what is being played. It's more of an intimate setting rather than people just losing their freaking minds while, getting super intoxicated with liquor and whatever else. Not that happens often, but...
Well, anywhere there's alcohol, I'm sure it is bound to happen, right?
Yeah. People are there to...
tie one on.
Do that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Matthew Broyles on and Trista Morris. We had Casey Smith and his friend Munz on yesterday, and a couple of the things that we talked about. One of them being, what have you kind of noticed around Fort Worth as far as changes just over the last year inside either the music industry or just Fort Worth as a whole?
And you're asking me what I have noticed?
Mm-hmm. If anything.
Over the past year, I've noticed people taking more time for themselves, maybe slowing down a little bit, actually feeling whatever's going on rather than being so busy. And so I feel like that kind of also goes into why we haven't been seeing as many people out, as well as, on an economic level, all of those things, but I don't really want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But it's a compound thing. So, yeah, I've noticed that, which it's kind of interesting because it seems like it's in the highest good of all for someone to, take time away. So I don't even know how I feel about it. I feel indifferent because I'm knowing that they're doing what's best for them while not going out and being busy and whatnot, which isn't the best for me.
Right.
But
as a musician.
Yeah, but at the same time, anything that is best for someone else is also best for me because we're all connected and we're all one. But yeah, so I've noticed that. And then what else have I noticed? Well, I've been just keeping to myself more.
Yeah.
But also staying busy and singing and whatnot. And so I haven't really been moving as fast paced as I once was. So I too have kind of taken a step back and become more methodical about my actions.
Well, and you said you've got some new projects going on too.
I do.
Just recently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
Absolutely. Well, the project that I was referencing earlier is the women's red tent. And it's actually called, our nonprofit is called the Empowered Women's Red Tent.
So this is like a 501c?
It's going to be.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
I'm saying it is because we just have to do the paperwork and whatnot. But we do intend to take it on a larger scale than just facilitating the red tents in the physical. But optimally in the future, I don't know when, but we'd like to be able to house women and be able to support them on their journey if for any reason, they need to leave someplace, like for instance, leaving their ex-husband or leaving a not so good situation and needing support in that time in their journey. We want to be able to do those things as well. So we want to build it and make it large enough to do that. But as far as what we're doing right now goes, we will be gathering at the Southside Preservation Hall the first Monday of every month, starting January 1st, 2024. So it's going to be literally the first day of the year.
Nice.
Next year. And then every Monday of the month, the first Monday of every month, we'll be gathering.
I'm really glad that you guys are using that venue because it's another one of those places that just really needs to be used. Otherwise, it'll disappear. So I'm glad you guys are using that. It's great.
Shout out Southside Preservation Hall. Mm-hmm. It's a diamond amongst the city. It's kind of, I guess, just kind of looked over, but it's such a gem.
So much space in there too. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, in the space that you see, it's only 1/3 of the actual size of what it really is. Yeah. I went on a tour with Jonathan and a couple friends, and oh my goodness, it just keeps going. Yes, there's a basement. There's how many floors are there? It seemed like there were 4 floors or more.
Do they do tours?
Yeah. I believe so. I mean, they gave me a tour. I think it's a usual thing that they do.
Huh. It's really cool.
It just goes on and on and on. But anyway, so the women's red tent will be facilitated amongst myself and my good friend Jamie. And she is a microdosing specialist as well as a breathwork specialist and an author. And she also ties in her microdosing and breathwork in with her book that she has. But yeah, she and I will be facilitating the women's circle, the Empowered Women's Red Tent. And we're going to be gathering and sharing, what's on our hearts. And I'll be channeling messages for all of us and doing some healing work there, as well as, divination and pulling tarot cards and oracle cards and doing some face painting. And
does everybody have to take their shoes off at the door?
Well, no, but that sounds optimal though.
I
know you're kidding, but yeah. I think that sounds good though. That might be a rule. I'm going to be saging people at the door.
There you go. Is there a place where people can find information about that?
Yes, you can follow us on Instagram. I know that we have that page completed, but it's the Empowered Women's Red Tent, and the image or logo is of a full moon with a phoenix that's on fire flying.
Dope.
Right in front of the moon. So it's pretty easy to see.
Well, I'll make sure and include that in the show notes. Andrew, don't forget.
Okay.
And what else did we cover the other day? So we talked about your Thanksgiving, your Friendsgiving, things that you've seen change over the last year. Anything this year that's really made you grateful? Something that you're extremely thankful for this year?
Aw, yeah.
That made you misty-eyed.
I know. That was really it was really sweet, and I loved having these conversations. So I feel grateful for my entire life and to be able to be living intentionally and in alignment makes me grateful every day. And I feel especially grateful for my gifts that I've been given. And it's fun to find out more about them. I'm grateful for my friends as well. I've had some really beautiful friendships that I've been able to cultivate over like the past 2 or 3 years or so. So my friendships have been getting stronger and more supportive. So those things, as well as my landlords.
I don't know if I've ever heard somebody bring up their landlord when they're talking about gratitude. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, they're just such special people. It was interesting because when I was trying to find a house, I was looking at these places and I remember thinking, okay, well, this one's the price that I wanted. It's not quite everything that I desire, but I was actually willing to settle, which isn't really like me, but I was like, sooner the better, I needed a place sooner than later. And I didn't end up getting that particular one I just referenced, which ended up being a blessing, and I ended up where I am now. And, whenever things like that happen, once you realize why they happen that way, it's nice to tune in and to connect and to remember that everything's always happening for you. And I ended up in a place that I really love with really beautiful people that are becoming kind of like family.
That's awesome
to me.
That's awesome.
So, and
nothing against Cassandra from last time we hung out here at the studio, but you seem genuinely happier than last time, and I would not have known that you could be happier than you were last time, but you do seem happier.
I am happier.
That's great.
I was also going through a lot of changes through that time, a lot of relationship changes. Yeah. I think I moved like 4 times in the span of 5 months or something.
That will kick your ass. Yeah.
And also had some other losses, and while also having a lot of beautiful blessings, but it was just like a freaking tornado in my life, and I was just tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, ass kicking for growth.
Again, if past Cassandra is listening to this, I am not talking shit. It's just, you seem so good right now.
Thank you.
Glad to hear that. So awesome. Well, we want to get you back on the show for a full episode. What we did was we invited some people out, and true to my nature, I didn't really plan this, but I just called some homies and wanted to make sure I got some important people. And you've really been there for me and the show, and you've been very supportive. So you're one of the people I thought of whenever I started going through the Rolodex. Do you know what a Rolodex is?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, an index with letters on them, and they're all categorized. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I know of that.
Just making sure.
I like tangible things like that.
I referenced it, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I just dated myself, I think. So, I haven't seen a Rolodex on someone's actual desk in probably 20 years, I would think. Maybe longer.
Well, it's also good to have things that are tangible in that way, if needed, rather than potentially losing it on a computer hard drive or something. Yeah.
Have you heard about all the before we get out of here, the solar activity, like the
solar flares?
Mass coronal ejections, MCEs.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, so apparently, like back in the I want to say late 1800s or early 1900s, whenever we were still pretty reliant on the telegraph system, we got hit with the CME. And what this is it's plasma that ejects from the sun, and the energy contacts Earth, and it's like having an EMP go off all over the planet, and it fries anything electrical. Mm-hmm. So in 1890, it was an inconvenience because they had to go and they had to restring the whole telegraph line. Can you imagine what would happen now? Nothing would be safe unless it's inside like a Faraday cage. I think in most cases, even if the device is turned off, it'll still fry it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I believe it. To your point, having physical things and not stored on a hard drive, it's really not a bad idea.
Yeah, documented.
I mean, I'd be screwed if I...
A lot of us would be.
Yeah. I mean, we've moved away from paper filing for a lot of good reasons, and some of it for the environment, some of it mostly just for efficiency. But yeah, one nice little CME. And what's so funny is it happens all the time, but the sun is doing this in 360, like omnidirectional in a global way. So it's happening all the time, but in order for one to go off at the right time in the right direction and hit the planet, it's very unlikely. But they've been the frequency and amount of time between the CMEs has become less and less. So it's getting more and more active. So anyway, just thought I had to share that.
Yeah. It's interesting how we don't really think about how we're being affected by all of these things around us. Well, I do, but I don't know if a lot of people consider those things, but even something as minimal or seemingly minimal as Wi-Fi affects us and how we feel and our own electromagnetic frequency.
Go down that rabbit hole
And
sometime. 5G, Wi-Fi, all that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I stay away from 5G towers. I've had fantasies about blowing them all up.
Oh, okay.
Back to the black coffee.
It was a fantasy, folks. Calm down.
I'm not going to do that.
I caught
Kind of
one.
remind me of the movie Fight Club. When
Right.
he's like
Yeah.
battling the corporatocracy and all of that, but in a different way. You know, I'm just concerned about everyone's electromagnetic frequencies.
Well, there are countries that have banned 5G. Well, don't get me lying to you, but there are countries that said, no, you're not putting that here.
Probably somewhere in Denmark. They're very organic and
That sounds right,
community-based, and they actually give a shit about their people's well-being.
Yeah.
Unlike this bagman business we reside in.
Can you get citizenship in Denmark? What are we doing?
Should I?
Should we all?
Should I have a farm there?
Should we all have a farm there?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I've completely lost faith in a lot of our, things that we grew up thinking were just totally normal. Now, the stuff they put in our food, the 5G, the coronal mass ejections, and all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, earlier you were asking me, right? You were asking me about changes I've seen. I myself have, been on this journey of, what I have in my diet. And my diet is, who I talk to, what I put in my body, what I eat, what I view, what I listen to,
so more
the environments I'm around, etc.
More than just nutrition.
Yeah, more than that. But I have been seeing other people kind of embarking on that journey more, as well as talking about the bioengineered food that is so popular, especially in America, and actually creating more of an awareness about that.
Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot more people trying to do like homesteading stuff and growing their own food, because it's obvious. I mean, they just passed a bill requiring, I think, produce to all be sprayed with this new thing that is going to extend the shelf life.
When you say all produce, are you also referencing organic produce?
I think so.
Then it wouldn't be organic anymore.
Well, it's organic. If they say it's organic, right? You just move the goalpost. I don't trust those organic stickers. I need to go to like a farmer's market or something.
That's what I enjoy doing most as well. When I was living in Atlanta, it was actually just within walking distance.
I am
would literally
100%
just
sure
walk.
we talked about this on your episode.
Probably.
Is there a
dollar.
good Is there a good farmer's market that you like going to around here?
I know of a farmer's market that is near the White Settlement water park.
Okay.
On Saturdays, although I haven't.
They just set up in a parking lot, or?
Yeah, they set up in the parking lot over there by the water park. But I guess I kind of lost hope with that. Well, I didn't lose hope, but I don't know. It just seems like they're kind of few and far between here.
There's a really good one kind of going south on 377, south of Fort Worth, and I cannot remember the name of the place. I want to say it's called a Stone's Throw, but I don't know that that's right. And they will, I think, periodically or every time they do the Clear Fork Saturday market, I think they're out there every time. But they've got some excellent food. They've got locally sourced meat, which wouldn't help you. But
it's good to know for other people that eat meat.
Excellent. And they do a lot of the blood organs. So if you wanted to go get like some stuff that you can't find at a supermarket that's locally sourced, that they've got that. And they've got, locally grown vegetables and things like that, and canned foods and whatnot. But so they're out there. You can find them. But, it's difficult for anybody that's, most Americans running around don't have any time left to do any extra stuff. So trying to make a 20-minute trip across town to go get some high dollar groceries probably sounds pretty unappealing to most people.
Although a doctor's bill probably sounds, less appealing.
Yeah, cancer's expensive.
Yeah, potentially just going and investing in your health in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, cancer, all of those things. It's saddening. And it's interesting too, because you do see a lot of people doing everything that's right for their body and still ending up with cancer. Mm-hmm. So you can just do your best and hope for the best.
It's those 5G towers.
Probably.
Let's close on a good note, though. Tell us something happy. Let's not leave them like that. This is where conversations go, though, right? I mean, it's on everybody's mind. So that's.
And we're just talking about it.
Me and Matthew did it. I think me and Casey did it. So it's
Okay. Well, what I am really excited to see is this mass awakening that is happening on our planet, and all of the people that are waking up to, things that they don't desire and finding more beautiful things out about themselves and being in the present moment and embracing that. Speaking of which, my song Be Here Now, I'm releasing that.
When?
In divine timing. It should be coming out within 6 weeks or so.
Okay.
So make sure to look for that.
So I'll tell you this, in case you haven't heard it already, and anybody that's listening, we're doing a playlist, and it's open to everybody that plays music in Fort Worth. So if anybody wants to put new music out, I've got a little form. You put what track you want on it, give me permission to use it, and then we'll put it on the playlist. People can vote on it, and then later we'll do which one's your favorite? So we'll do one big, long playlist. It might be 400 tracks.
Okay. Is that starting as soon as you start getting those in, or is it starting like next year? Or?
In divine timing.
Oh, okay. I like how you did that. Yeah, put it back on me.
Well, we want to put that out as quickly as possible, but I also want to give our local artists enough time to get it done. And there's at least 7 or 8 musicians right now. And if the shoe fits, wear it, that have the forms that need to send them back. Otherwise, they're not going to be included, and that would suck because I know they want to be on the playlist. But if you have the form, send it back to me. If you don't have the form, email me and tell me that you want to submit your music to the playlist.
Yes.
All right. And we need to get you back on the show soon. So we can sit here, bring a friend. We'll do 3 hours. We'll have vegetarian options on a platter, some Topo Chico, and we'll just make a whole thing out of it. Okay.
That sounds incredible.
Thank you for dropping everything and just coming. I know I didn't plan this at all, and I'm sure everybody's just like, this asshole.
No. I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you about things, and I'm always happy to see you.
And before we get out of here, and I just wanted to make sure that I'm thankful for you and your friendship and all your support. So thank you, and anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. And that's how we start the show. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for joining us for our Friendsgiving episode.
Yes.
I reached out to some of my closest homies and was like, what are you doing today?
And my gallbladder answered. My gallbladder was like, hey, what's up?
Well, let's do this.
Yeah. Thankfully, we were lucky enough to be doing absolutely nothing today. So that was
what was said earlier? I was like, that's how we need to start the show.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember. Shit.
Squatty Potty.
Squatty Potty. Squatty Potties are amazing.
This program is sponsored by Squatty Potty.
Thank you to the cicada for having a Squatty Potty.
The cicada has a Squatty Potty?
In every stall.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. I was like, Tyler, you're my friend.
Just all the more reason for you to go out to the cicada.
Absolutely. Yes.
Love that place. I really like what they did with it, and I think all of us were, on pins and needles and suspense, waiting to see what was going to happen with Mass. But they have done it justice.
I think
and then some.
And I don't know if you saw Tyler's post. I mean, they're kind of struggling. So
everybody is.
So if you get an opportunity, listeners, to go out to the cicada, you should do that. And you should go out to as many venues as you can, because they're all struggling.
Go to the Post. Go check out Twilight. I mean, Twilight's got some damn good tacos, so that's all the reason to go right there.
Well, and that's a message we've been pushing pretty hard on the show lately, and I don't know, for the past year, is economically, it's bad. And everybody gets that. I know it's not lost on anybody, but if you're going out, please
go
think about our local guys.
Yeah, go local. Don't go to freaking
Chili's.
The Cheesecake Factory does not need your business.
No.
100%. Yeah.
Let's see. Well, they always talk about you millennials are killing Applebee's and all that.
Fuck Applebee's. Right in the dick.
Oh, wow.
Sponsored by Applebee's. Even Applebee's doesn't like Applebee's.
I bet that's right. I bet that's right.
Go get you some.
Have you gone there and talked to some of the employees?
Well, it's like, and I don't know that this is still true, but for a long time, that was the last place in the DFW area you could smoke a cigarette inside the building.
Wow.
That's a clever ploy.
We're doing whatever we can.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny about this conversation? Me saying fuck Applebee's. I was in Grant Morrison's recently released music video. Afterward, I had taken like an extra long shot of vodka, and the filter was gone. I was like, man, this reminds me of when I used to work at Macy's, and I'd be at the Applebee's every night.
when you didn't know any better.
I didn't know any better. I was like, newly 21. And
I used to go get
margaritas.
Yeah. I used to go get drunk at Bennigan's.
Bennigan's was awesome.
See,
dude, Bennigan's was great.
That's where the sophisticated ones.
It was not sophisticated.
I'm just kidding.
No, it was not sophisticated.
Funny.
You get you a Monte Cristo while you're getting hammered.
Dude, that Monte Cristo. You nailed it right there. Bennigan's, Monte Cristo.
That's why everybody went. That's why everybody
so good.
It wasn't for anything else. It was just for that.
And you know
Everything
what?
else mediocre. Monte Cristo, gold.
I didn't find Bennigan's until most of them had already shut down. But there was one open in, what is that? Westlake?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Probably was.
And it was, I think, one of two left in the nation, and they were trying to get it going again, and it just failed.
Yeah. I don't know that there are any left. I think there might be one like the last Blockbuster or something. There might be the last Bennigan's somewhere.
Somebody is just calling it Bennigan's, but the entity has died,
Yeah, I don't even
went
know.
the way of the Sears and the Montgomery Wards.
Twitter account.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, X account, whatever. Fuck you, Elon.
X. I think it's funny that he also named his kid X too, because I think there's a thing.
X something though, right?
I think he really, really wants to be an X-Man. I think he read too many of the comics and just got all.
He's like, Wolverine is my.
I can jive with that though. Hey, so yesterday I watched Logan. It was released in 2017.
Yeah, I remember that one. I didn't see it, but
it was good.
It's depressing as shit.
Very depressing,
I remember that the trailer appeared to be very depressing. I wasn't sure.
But the thing is, like, I don't know about you, but for my age group, Wolverine and Iron Man, those were the pimps. Those were the most badass characters from our childhood.
Absolutely.
And to watch Wolverine, just fall apart as an aging
which is it's kind of
50-year-old man.
Depends on where your head's at. That's either inspiring or terrifying. As someone who's pushing 50, you're kind of like, if it's even taking Wolverine, I'm kind of I got problems.
Well, he was indestructible, man. There was nothing that you could do to that guy.
No, well, that old X-Men, to me is kind of one of those forgotten, because they weren't attached to Marvel at the time. Right. There was some kind of special deal, and then it sucks that it didn't get incorporated properly into the MCU. I think it's supposed to be with the new ones, but it won't have like fucking Ian McKellen or any of those guys in it. And Hugh Jackman, of course, is he's
done.
He's a little older.
Well, he's told everybody publicly, I'm not doing it anymore.
I don't want to do it anymore.
And I just saw an interview with him recently. Might be why I watched Logan. But he was on
so good.
The best. They couldn't have picked a better guy for it.
Oh yeah.
But he was talking to this guy about having a conversation with Jerry Seinfeld, and so Hugh Jackman's there with Jerry Seinfeld, and he's like, "When did you know that it was time to hang it up?" And Jerry was like, "You just." At a certain point, you don't want to run it out to where there's nothing left in the tank.
Yep.
You want to walk away before it's completely out of gas.
Right.
And he's like, "How do you know?" You just know.
You got to leave them wanting more. It's the same. Which is funny because that was a Seinfeld line too. It's like when you hit a high note, you need to leave. Right, because if you keep going, you might risk going back downhill. So as soon as you hit the high note, you're like, "Thank you all, I'm gonna take the hell,"
That's
get out of here. Because and so
Andre 3000 or 6000, whatever, fucking said it the best. He's like, "What am I gonna rap about? I gotta go get a colonoscopy."
Have you heard his flute album?
Who?
Andre 3000 from Outkast.
I think he did a bunch of mushrooms.
What was it called?
He just put out an album of instrumental flute music, and it's like the entire internet is like, what?
I gave
the
myself
hell?
away. I'm like, I don't listen to this rapper Andre 6000, 3000, whatever.
But it's interesting because he's totally very down to earth about it. He's just like, what am I going to rap about? You know,
Yeah.
like I got a chiropractic appointment. You know, like,
I've discovered that it's good to paint too. The album. It's like literally. It reminds me a little bit of like psychedelic forest music.
But like for people who are like Outkast, you know, it's like it's not Outkast. It's just flute music.
Yeah,
you know,
it's flute music.
If you're showing up looking for Outkast, you've already lost.
Get that right. But I have some respect for people who kind of just screw with people's expectations like that. You know, just like I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And in fact, the titles that he had for the songs are so funny because one of them was like, I tried to make a rap record, but this is what came out. That's the title of the song.
I'm trying to think of who else is a really good example of that. I mean, you got people like Matthew McConaughey and Mark Wahlberg that have got their fingers and everything trying to diversify their image.
Well, because I think after you do a certain thing for any length of time, I mean, I say that from experience because, you know, I just put out that radio play after years of putting out music albums, you know, just like I just feel like doing something else. And I totally respect whenever anyone wants to do that.
And for our listeners that don't know, I have a starring role.
You do. So. You have a very big role. Very big role. Took a long time to record your part. And
12 seconds, I think.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Andrew Turner is Captain Perez in the Rewired Radio Play, which you can find at rewiredradioplay.com.
Which will be in the show notes, Andrew.
Yeah, you should absolutely do that.
I played Nina. You should hear me eat a
and
cracker.
She does have
a cracker in the middle of it. It's great.
She does have a part as well. And it really contains like half the Fort Worth music scene, which is fun.
You did. And that's what's so brilliant about it. You included so many people in it.
Well, and all I did was just ask. I was just like, does anyone want to do this? And they were like, yeah, I want to do this. So, and it's cool when that happens because I remember that's kind of how I feel like. Sometimes I get the feeling like, nobody gives a shit about what I do. But then when I put out a call like that and like all these people want to do it, I'm like, okay.
It was so exciting.
Maybe somebody gives a shit about what I do. So
God, I remember the day that I came, and we had tried to schedule me coming over and doing that recording several times.
Right. And you just had stuff going on.
Well, but the day that I finally got to go over there, I was so excited. And for anybody that listens to that and is trying to find my part in it, good luck.
That's very
but if you do find it and you hear me and I don't sound that good, doesn't sound like I nailed the part, I promise you I did 1,000 times better because Matthew coached me. It would have been, you know, like the first take was...
Yeah, but that's a lot of people, you know, if you really, I mean, I don't know if you've done any acting before, but if you haven't acted,
only when I eat my mother's meatloaf.
It's tasty. You did good.
Oh, Mom, this is... great.
But so the Jeff Goldblum quote that I always like is that most musicians are frustrated actors and most actors are frustrated musicians.
I've heard you say that.
But I think that...
And most artists are just getting bored, so we want to try stuff.
But I also think that anyone with any kind of creative impulse at all, like be it a podcast host or an artist or whatever, you do have what's the basic elements in there to act. If you, because like I had Mana on there, and she's a comedian, and so you know she's not an actor, but when you're on stage performing, you have to have some of those instincts.
Now that seems like an actor to me, a comedian, because there's a lot of acting in that, right?
Yeah, there is.
Finding different ways to deliver your line.
Yeah. Well, anytime you get up on stage, because it's the funny thing when you get up on stage, you have to deliver it as if nothing else just happened before the show, right? You know, like so if you have to sing a sad song but you're not feeling sad, you have to pretend that you're sad. If you have to sing a happy song and you're not happy, you have to pretend that you're happy.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah. And so when you're a comedian and you have to get up and make people laugh, but you just, you know, got a call from your landlord and, you know, everything's fucked up at home, you still have to make people laugh. So there's acting involved in it, you know, where you have to get yourself into that mind frame.
Right.
It's similar, I would imagine, to being a professional athlete, you know, where you just kind of have to, you know, push away all the bad stuff and just focus.
Yeah.
But with the creative instinct, it's a little different because it also has to feel natural. It has to, you know, seem as if it's.
I always wondered if
reality.
some of those athletes that like So, like football players, for instance, ever get like a call from their landlord pre-game?
Oh,
and just use their frustrations.
The pros don't.
In the NFL?
Yeah,
they paid 2 years in advance.
I'm talking like the college football teams because I see some of them. They're overly aggressive with how they tackle.
Well, but some of that's weird because
that's just young testosterone.
Oh,
yeah,
that's all that
people
is.
get watch some hockey.
Fucking hate my landlord.
Watch some hocky games, and if you want to see some.
God.
They all got calls from their landlords.
Dude, a guy just got murdered on the ice.
Did he really?
Did you hear about that?
No, I did not hear that.
And I don't understand, or I didn't listen to the full story, so I don't have all the specifics. But somebody got their throat cut, I believe, in a game.
Whoa!
With a skate.
Oh my God!
Mm-hmm. Jesus. And the guy's on manslaughter charges, I believe.
Wow.
The guy died right there on the ice.
That's like a level beyond Alec Baldwin there. You know.
I don't know. I'm kind of numb from it all because I watched 2000. Like I watched what happened at 9/11, like just on live television. So I'm just
I know, but
it's
as
a
Americans,
it's a Tuesday. You know, like that's kind of how it feels lately.
But it is crazy though. When you think about somebody playing a game.
Yeah.
And dying.
It's supposed to be for fun, folks.
Right.
That's always my joke. You know, people are, my team, blah, blah, blah. We didn't win this week. Or we did win, but did everybody have fun?
Yes.
Because it's a game.
But but it's palpable sometimes. Like, so when the Rangers did this run here lately, you know, they were kind of having up and down, you know, and so it's like, they lost this game. And then I'd go into work and everyone's bummed out. Like it actually affected their day.
Right.
And then, you know, the next day they would win. And everyone was just the happiest, you know, and I was just kind of like, I think y'all are too invested in this, you know.
And I'll never understand that. Like, whatever switch or gear or gene that people are born with that makes them give a shit about professional sports, I don't have it.
And it's weird because I do enjoy like kids playing, right? Like I'll go see a kids playing sports.
It's fun to watch
because they're having fun, right?
But I'm not going to follow pro athletes. I'm just not. No. I don't give a shit.
I don't care.
But going to watch a live event, especially with kids, is so much fun.
I like watching the volleyball because they're like,
they're getting something out.
I think most men really appreciate volleyball. I mean,
there's volleyball particularly.
There's no reason why their
tennis,
outfits need
when they scream as they hit the thing.
Yeah, see, there's something to that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll bet there's something to that.
Well, and there's also been several instances, and I think this was with Sabrina Williams, or what's her sister's name?
Serena and Venus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But they've been called out during the game. Like, okay, all right, we got to stop the game. Let me talk to you.
Oh,
you got to quiet it down with that yelling.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're like, what?
Yeah, like what? I'm
just playing the game.
Thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're just angry because I'm winning.
Yeah.
Right.
And gorgeous.
Right.
You know? So, I guess somebody on the sidelines is like, this is getting...
Haters.
Getting a little randy up in this booth.
This is turning into something else.
Well, that's the old, you know, the Supreme Court definition of pornography, you know, which was that I can't define it, but I know it when I see it, right? You know, and
is that the definition?
In Potter Stewart was a Supreme Court justice, I think, back in the 50s, 60s, and there was a pornography case that came up, and it's like, it was Robert Mapplethorpe who takes these very risque photographs, and they were in art galleries, and so someone protested and was like, you know, this is porn, this is not art. So they brought it to the damn Supreme Court, and they were like, you know, and Potter Stewart's famous thing was like, well, you know, because someone was asking him, how do you define what porn is versus what art is? And he was like, well, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So
well, we'll just make you the guy. You'll just be the guy.
So what they're going to have to do is go right over to the Modern and right over to the Amon Carter.
Well, this was years ago. But
look at all those classic paintings with the ladies in the gauzy outfits and their nips hanging out and their bits, you know.
Yeah.
Just see if they get a little bothered.
Well, all the Greeks had all their junk hanging out.
Yeah,
you know,
go ahead and contact those artists. I'm sure they care.
But it is funny. People do get mad when they get horny, though. Like,
what?
You know, yeah.
Who are these people?
No, I mean, people who are much more tightly wound than you and I. People
I always want to feel those feelings. Now, if I become, you know, if those emotions
they're the kind of people who are like, Mother, Can I talk to you?
I don't want any of those people here hanging out with us. I'm sorry.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like there's people who are very uncomfortable with those sorts of feelings.
Well, don't you just you dial it back, right? You go, okay, why am I feeling this way right now?
Right.
Oh yeah,
right.
Pop-Tarts. I love Pop-Tarts, and that lady's carrying a bag of Pop-Tarts.
But they want to make but people get real mad about that, which is funny because
I get mad lately when people are eating cheese, and I'm like,
oh my god,
that's because they're not. That's just because they're not offering you any.
That's because I can't eat it right now.
But see, you're making it their problem. It's not their problem.
Fault.
It's your problem.
It's all their fault.
Speaking of food,
yes.
What did you guys do for Thanksgiving?
We went to my she.
I would have, but
she ordered Cracker Barrel. Didn't you?
Fucking Cracker Barrel.
Yeah,
it was all right.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It was okay.
So yeah,
we supplemented with good things. So
and you had there was exploding baby poop also that.
Oh God, that was fucking funny. Like within
How was
minutes.
that ever funny?
So we have a new addition in the family. My cousin had a baby, right? Yeah. Zaxton is his name, and
Zaxton.
Yeah. And we don't normally have children at our house. So, within minutes of us just like heating up the food, and I'm over here just like struggling to make fucking coffee so that I don't murder everybody. Exploding baby.
Yeah, he just went kapoom, and they have a way of where it just comes out all the holes of the diaper.
Well, right, because you've got that diaper up against its exit port, and so it's going to go in every direction except that way.
And he was in this like little rolling thing at the time. Like,
so he's just in the diaper?
Just in the diaper, and the rolling thing just kind of like, what?
Yeah, there's nothing else to contain it.
So my cousin spent, just before lunch hit, she spent, 45 minutes out there just trying to clean the fucking thing.
With
and
a power washer.
With a power washer, and the baby's upstairs in the bath, just like, I had fun, did you?
I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, my Thanksgiving was much milder than that. I went to my parents' house. And
I would have rather have gone to your parents' house and talked to the chickens. That would have been great.
Yeah, they got chickens out there. But we did have... we did make a fire pit out there. So we
mega fire pit?
Not mega, just a regular fire pit.
You said mega.
Did I? Oh,
mega fire pit. I like it.
I didn't remember
It's like a new.
Oh, maybe I just heard you wrong.
I think you're. Yeah, I think you
make a fire pit.
We did make a fire pit.
Ah, okay.
We had a naked fire. We had a naked fire pit.
Fantastic. See, I was going to go to that too.
Well, what I do miss though, and this is not a Thanksgiving thing, but my dad years ago, for New Year's, we would do a thing where we'd buy a Christmas tree from wherever, and then by the time you get to New Year's, of course, the Christmas tree is dry and ready to light. So he would put it out on the fence and fill it with fireworks, and we would set the tree on fire, and it would just light up the whole damn.
I've seen the pictures of
back
this.
field. But
what year was this?
This was probably 80s to 90s, like somewhere there.
Back in the good days.
Yeah.
Nowadays, somebody would definitely have an issue.
What started happening is at the store they would start treating the trees so they wouldn't light up. And I remember very distinctly the first year we went out there, and he was trying like hell to light this tree, and it would not light.
What's going on with this tree?
He was pissed, so he ended up covering it with gasoline.
By God, it's gonna light.
And we haven't really done it since.
I have a feeling that my dad would have loved that.
Yeah.
My father likes to
fire
set
hazards
shit on fire.
were just a fact of life back then. You just lived like that.
When I was like 4 or 5, we had this giant brush pile that had all kinds of different creatures living in it.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to get rid of the giant brush pile, I saw my dad out there with a gas can just throwing the gas everywhere.
And little Trista's like, the woodland creatures.
I'm like, no, the bunnies, save the bunnies. He's like, they'll run. And I'm like, he throws the match and it goes, pew, and just lit up, and we got so many fucking calls.
You're terrifying all the neighbors.
The neighbors were like, what the hell?
Well, I was at a friend's property one year, and they did it every so often. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're out on acreage, and so they would constantly just be bringing in brush and piles of limbs and stuff like that.
The brush pile was like the size of this room.
Yeah. And this one kind of was too. And so they had to light it. I mean, it's got to burn. That's what you do out in the country, right?
Right.
Well, I wanted to be the hero and set this thing off one year, and I just couldn't get it to light. And I did the same thing that your dad did. I went and I got the gas can, and by God, it's going to light. And I thought I had a foolproof plan. I think I had like a 2-foot long stick. I got that thing lit, and I stuck it on that thing. and I ended up doing like this James Bond. I'm sure it didn't look as cool as what I'm about to describe to you, but I did like a barrel roll away from it. And I already planned this. Like, I know I'm going to barrel roll away from this thing. Well, I lost all the hair on my arm that was attached to that 2-foot piece of stick. Yeah. And
like half your eyebrow was gone.
Things were singed. It was, yeah. Don't be playing with gas, folks.
No, don't do it. No, we had a very modest fire pit, and it was fine. And
not a mega.
Not a mega
one,
no.
Damn.
We had the cousins and all that stuff come in, and like I said, we were talking about earlier, the group is getting smaller, every year. And so partially because we are not reproducing as rapidly as the generation before us. So I have a lot of cousins who never had kids. So
do you think that has to do with the music? I mean, we had the slow jams in the 90s. Dude.
Yeah, no, it's probably true. I mean, I know in the 70s that Barry White was responsible for quite a few of us.
Almost all of them.
Existing, yeah. And then probably when you get into the 80s, you had Luther Vandross and whatnot who would get people pregnant. But now we got Nick Cannon really just impregnates everybody. So
Ed Sheeran wasn't doing the trick.
But no, I just think it's too expensive. People don't want to have kids.
It's an economic thing. All joking really aside,
yeah. But it is creating a situation where you go to Thanksgiving and it's the same people minus whoever dropped off at the top end.
Yeah.
And so it's but the people who are left are still good people, I think.
And grateful.
And I am very grateful. I am very grateful because I know it's funny when you have. So my Facebook feed and whatnot is full mostly of creatives and like weirdo
Facebook.
Yeah, I know I'm not supposed
to. Tell
to
us about your MySpace.
Yeah,
he's also I've got Instagram, and he's got a TikTok.
I do have the. I don't use the TikTok, but I have it.
He will use the TikTok at some point.
My daughter calls it the Boomer Zone, the Facebook, and which she's not wrong. But like a lot of people I have on my social media are they're not normal people, they're creatives and whatnot. And so many of them are posting stuff about like how much the holidays suck because like they come from broken families and, all kinds of, there's always a fist fight and somebody's high on Coke or whatever. And I'm just very grateful that I don't have any of that in mind. My family's very boring in that respect. So, we didn't have to screw with any of that except for the fact that, my dad is probably one of the crankiest people that you'll ever meet in your life. And so, but it's funny though.
Yeah, I was about to say, that can be funny.
He's not drunk cranky, he's just regular cranky. And that I appreciate.
Like an hour into the gathering, he's like, go hide in the back room, kind of.
Yeah, now when the battery runs out, he's just like, I'll go home. I'm tired of you people.
I want to go outside and talk to the chickens.
It's like having Tom Waits for a father.
But he's not like mean about it.
No, I mean, he's just very matter of fact. He says, well, I'm done with y'all. Y'all need to get out of here.
That's it. Do whatever you got to do. I'm done.
But that's what I'm modeling. That's what I'm modeling my. So I was talking. So my niece and my nephew are both theater kids, right? So they're in all the productions in Granbury and Cleburne and whatnot. And we talk about it sometimes because I was in theater in high school and college, and then I kind of dropped it because the only parts I was ever able to play were the old man parts. And then. But then I got out into the world and realized
because you were height, or
no, I was just good at really being. Okay. I was good at being my father.
Give us a little taste.
Oh, you're kind of a grumpy old man. You talk like this, and the hell with all you people. What's the matter with you? And beautiful. I was real good at that type of thing. So, but in high school and college, you can do the old man, but then you get out into the world and there's actual old men who are doing those parts. So you can't get those parts. Mm-hmm. So I put my acting career on the shelf for a while, and I'm waiting until probably, 60, 65, I'm going to restart my acting career.
As a grumpy man.
Going to be nothing but the grumpy old man part.
You nail it every time.
And I'm going to have the best time doing that because I think that would be great. Like if they need a commercial with some cranky old bastard, call me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So
he's got pictures. We were going through your pictures and we found your old man.
Yeah, because they would do the spray gray hair, to try to age me when I was 18 years old or something like that.
It was pretty funny.
But yeah, the poor posture helped, so I was able to kind of hunch, and I actually borrowed my dad's kind of beat up cardigan, and was able to pull that off.
Pulled it off, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a hard cutoff when you get out of college. They're just like, Old men are actually available.
Yeah, we don't need you. So, Trista, other than exploding baby poop, any other highlights to your Thanksgiving?
No, don't get me wrong. It was actually very good to see my cousin and my aunt. I haven't seen them in a long time. Actually,
we love you.
I had a pretty big highlight pre-Thanksgiving, believe it or not, unrelated to family situations. I was at Thompson's and I went in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This was pretty crazy.
Now, what is Thompson's?
Thompson's bookstore.
It's a speakeasy.
Oh, yeah. Thompson's. Okay,
it's like where you go in, you have to give
Downtown.
the password at the bookcase, and then they'll let you downstairs.
It's a pub. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's gone under new management recently, and I hadn't been in a while, and so I know. But
is it good?
It looks good.
Okay.
They did good. Okay. I mean, I was like, okay, good. They still have the antiques. They still have the old books. Nice. They now have books that you can pull off the shelf and read, which is cool.
That is cool. Good authors?
Good authors, yeah.
Nice selection.
Yeah, nice selection, actually. Yeah, I was sitting there, I was like,
little Tom Clancy.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy.
But they got the fancy book covers. So anyway, point being, like, you can go in there and get a drink and either talk with people or grab a book and read or whatever you want to do. And it's pretty cool. The upstairs has, like, spaces you can rent out. Cool. Well, I go in there because I used to do a lot of art events there.
Yeah.
My friend Brittany Day, she runs Imbibe and Bid Art Auction. She's been doing it since like 2016 or earlier than that even.
Nice.
And I ran into her New Year's of 2017. She invited me to do the first one. That's how I know Thompson's. And it's always really cool because it's an old building and they have this big upstairs area that they've renovated.
I haven't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it either. Yeah. I walked in and I was looking around going, what'd they do to this place? They better not have ruined it, you know. Well, when I walked in, the bartender goes, "Oh, Trista, I've bought art from you. Why don't you come have a drink?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she goes, "Here, what do you want? It's on the house." And I thought that was weird. I was like, make whatever you like. What's your favorite whiskey drink, you know?" And this was pre gallbladder explosion, by the way. Anyway, she makes me a drink, and I'm kind of looking around, trying to figure out why she has given me a free drink and what's going on. And
Trista, you gotta stop touching your headset.
Sorry, I'm doing that.
It's making noises.
Oh shit!
I'm sorry.
I'm causing extra editing. Anyway,
it's not driving me nuts. It's driving somebody nuts.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Thank you.
Point being, sorry about that.
It's okay.
Point being, she makes me a drink. I'm looking around. I sit at the bar, and I'm kind of like, and I see this older fellow to the left of me. Younger fellow to the right of me. Younger fellow to the right of me, he is just done. Like, he has had so much to drink. He's just he's out of it. He got stood up on a date, and he's sitting there talking to me about it.
No.
And then there's the older gentleman to the left of me who's talking to a younger fellow, and I haven't seen his face, but, he seems preoccupied. It's whatever. Well, bartender walks up, and, he goes, "Hey, I think we're done." I'm like, "Okay." And I'm sitting there at the time just kind of browsing my phone, and I have a picture of Trump on my phone just sitting there. And it was a friend of... What?
It's a meme of some kind.
The meme. It was like a meme of Trump. And older guy turns, and it's a very familiar voice that comes out. He goes, "What are you doing with that clown on your phone?" And I'm like, And I looked up, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, that's Harrison Ford."
Are you serious?
Look at Harrison Ford sitting there having a drink. And I was like, did you enjoy your drink, sir? Can I buy you one? So I just kind of like immediately reached in my wallet and passed him my art card. And I was like, well, that's Facebook, so that doesn't matter. But here's my art card if you need any art. Oh
my God! How wild is that?
About that time, the drunkie to the right of me, the older fellow, he is 5 seconds away from going, "Are you serious right now, man? Is this real?" I just feel him next to me getting excited. And
trying to figure out how to hedge his way into this conversation.
Right. And Harrison's like, "Well," and he's looking behind me, and he's like, I think we'd better get out of here." He says it to the bartender, and bartender's like, "Oh yeah, no worries, thank you so much." And like, she is stoked, and I'm over here just kind of like, what the fuck did that really just happen?
That's wild, man.
He leaves. The younger guy leaves. I don't know who the younger guy was.
You didn't ask him for a picture.
She did.
I did. He said no. And are we doing selfies tonight? He goes, no selfies right now. I was like, all right,
but you did offer him a hug.
I offered him a hug. He was weird about that, and he said a handshake is quieter. So I was like, okay.
I think he was trying not to be noticed.
He was trying to.
Yeah.
And I found out because when she posted about it, some people pointed out. Of course, he's a pilot. He fly, and so he has to get like kind of refresher training, and they offer it at DFW Airport, and so he comes to town on a relatively regular basis.
Well, he can get it done anywhere, but
yeah, I know, but I think he just likes hanging.
He likes Fort Worth.
He's been spotted like on restaurants on Magnolia.
Well, I had heard that there was another Harrison Ford sighting just recently, but wow.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Harrison Ford has my art card. Hope he reaches out. Sir, if you're listening, you should totally endorse Fort Worth Roots podcast.
Yeah, we'll tag him in this for sure.
Cool. You know, it's weird. He has an X account, but he doesn't have an Instagram or a Facebook.
We'll do that's a statement right there.
Yeah.
We'll do a Harrison Ford tag. We might even name the episode something Harrison Ford-esque.
That would be great. I
think Indiana Jones episode.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be busting out some Star Wars themed paint classes for December. So
yeah, because that'll do it. That'll get him to
I'll be like, come paint Chewie.
You know, the thing is, like, and just on my limited, what I'm doing here. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough for me to just connect with everybody that sends me an email.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine?
Oh, it's not. It's not even possible. You know.
No, and it must be so not even annoying. It must enrage people at his level. Like, leave me alone.
Well, because you can't even just go somewhere.
No.
Right. You know, you can't. And
not even Thompson's.
Right. And that's what is.
That's probably why he was at Thompson's, was because he was like, I could just kind of sneak in here, have a little drink, and then sneak on out.
And it's dimly lit.
Right, and it's kind of just quiet. Everybody's sort of absorbed in what they're doing with their people they're with, you know.
No, that's the double edge of the fame there is that, you know, everybody knows you, but everyone knows you.
Yeah.
And you just can't have a normal life, you know.
But how cool. You know, if I was going to bump into any actor, he'd be at the top of the list.
He seems super chill and super down to earth. First of all, he called Trump a clown. I was cool with that. And second of all, like, he was just like in plain clothes, just a little button up, and, you know, had his shirt tucked into his pants with his belt. You know, he's wearing Wranglers. He's trying to fit in a little, you know, had boots on, just chilling. About my dad's height.
Well, you know, he was a carpenter for a long time before he was a movie star, and I think, you know, he broke kind of late. He was in his mid-30s before he kind of became a household name. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he had done carpentry work in Hollywood.
He looked
for
so
years.
young in Star Wars.
Yeah, he was the oldest one.
He still looks young for his age, but he was completely gray.
Also, if he is still piloting, I'm surprised because there was that whole thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I think they just don't want to be the ones to yank his license, I guess, you know.
No.
Well, and
sorry, Harrison, you can't fly anymore.
His notoriety probably pulls a little weight.
But we're pretty sure that the person he was in there with was his son, who also flies.
He's a chef as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, honestly, say what you will, but whenever I was going through flight training, I don't know if you ever heard me talk about that. I did not get my pilot's license because I ran out of money whenever it was time to do the check ride. I paid, I'm not going to tell you the dollar amount. It was absurd, but I made it all the way up to the check ride, and I ran out of cash. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'll revisit this, and I never did.
No, it sucks.
But where was I going with that story? The instructor, multiple instructors told me, you know, we'd get done landing the aircraft, taxiing back to the hangar over there at American Flyers, just inside of Addison, and I'd be complaining like, you know, I kind of bounced a little bit on that landing, or I was a little off center line, or, you know, I wasn't following the Vossi lights close enough, and I was just a little bit off glide slope. I'd have some kind of complaint, and they'd be like, listen, any landing that you can walk away from, it's a good landing.
You did good.
So with that being said, and me talking shit about Harrison Ford and his airplane incident, you know, he walked away from it.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
So by my instructor's qualifications or metrics, that was a good landing.
That was a good landing. Yeah. Now, you know, had I been a passenger, I might not have thought that.
Yeah,
but,
you might have your own metrics.
Have my own opinions on that sort of thing. But yeah.
Last time I fly with you, Granddad. I don't care how many artifacts you found in those caves.
I do think about that because my granddad, when he was in his later years and he would be driving us places, he was already losing his eyesight a bit, and he drove by Braille, essentially, you know, like
what? Oh yeah.
when he started hitting, you know, and eventually to the point where my mom was like, "Hey, you're not riding with Granddad anymore." But now I'm thinking about him flying, and I'm like, "Oh man,
no.
you know, I don't know about all of that."
Yeah, at a certain age, you gotta tie those things up. But they do. I mean, I think it's either. Well, I forget now. I want to say it's annually. you got to do a flight physical.
Yeah, you got to do the thing.
And, you know, they do the blood pressure and the eye test and the blood work. And it's fairly intensive.
Yeah, and I think his son lives around here, which is, I think, part of why he does it here. But
okay.
But, yeah, it's like, it's a hell of a funny thing. Because I always tend to run into, like, the B and C list people. I never run into the A list people.
Yeah. It was weird because like he's just a normal dude. I'm like, that's what I told the guy next to me. He was like, was that real? And I'm like, yeah. Let the man have a fucking drink. You know.
And I was trying to be me as a standing rule. Yeah. I've already decided, like, if I run into somebody, I'm going to cut him a clear path. I'm not going to.
Well, and I learned that when I lived in New York, I learned that because you see them all the time. You know, you see like, oh, well, that's Jerry Orbach or that's, you know, whatever. And you be cool about it because you don't want to be the one that's like, oh my God, are you the guy? You know, because it's like they don't get that all the time anyway.
Every 5 seconds.
I don't know who I ran into on the train. We were coming off the train. We were in the subway. And there was this dude who he looked fucking, he was dressed to the nines. He had a cool style. And I was like, dude, I really like your style. What do you do? I'd ask anybody that, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, I work. I was like, okay. Clearly you don't want to disclose who you are. Moving along, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the deal is that, you know, you're kind of always having to be on guard for that sort of thing. Now, when you're in a city like LA or New York, you know, you will get spotted, but not screwed with as much. But if you're in Fort Worth, Texas, you know, people are not used to seeing celebrities around.
Right.
You know,
we're about to move on to another segment of the show. Yes. Before we do, would anybody else like another drink? Because I'm getting one.
I'm okay.
Are you? You sure?
I'm good.
I'm gonna get you another pineapple.
Okay.
All right.
He's drinking for me today.
I'm not. Yeah. I got a drink for her gallbladder too. So
the only thing I have to offer you right now is coffee.
I played Oregon Trail.
That's Oregon Trail, really? Mm-hmm. That's so fucking cool. I love that thing. I would die of dysentery. Everybody does eventually.
Everyone dies of dysentery eventually.
I don't know. Would you rather die from dysentery or the axle breaking mid-river?
Axle breaking mid-river because it'd be more entertaining.
Well, it'd be quicker,
dysentery is slow and sad.
Well, you're more likely to walk away from that one.
Right.
Well, assuming you don't. Assuming you're not going to walk away.
Well, drowning sucks, but so does dysentery.
Like the horse and...
Have you ever gone to sleep involuntarily? Have you ever been put out?
Like for anesthesia?
That fun. Or being choked unconscious?
No, I have not.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so I've been choked unconscious several times. Oh. And it's actually very pleasant.
Oh, wow.
I have questions. I have so many questions.
There are whole sections of the internet where you can find that.
Anyway, moving on. We'll leave that for another episode. All right, so this being the Friendsgiving episode,
yes.
we wanted to cover a few things, and you guys have already talked a little bit about what you're thankful for this year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thankful for the community.
Big changes in the community is kind of what one of the other topics I was trying to hit.
Well, so the thing with the creative community, and I've, full disclosure, I mean, I've been in and about this community for 30 odd years now.
Pillar.
So I've watched, I'm at least one of the studs in the wall, but
100%.
But I feel like every few years there is some kind of article that gets posted about like, the scene used to be better back in insert date here, right?
That's the way it always is.
Right.
And I'm old enough that I've read that same article in a number of different decades.
Yeah.
And so whenever you see that sort of thing, I often just ignore it because, yes, things have changed, but they don't necessarily mean they've gotten worse. Now, sometimes you go through little dips, like there's a period where maybe it flattens a little bit and then it'll come back up. But you have to remember there's always new blood being added to the stew, right? Yeah. So for instance, a few years ago, I was talking about, when I was running the Barbershop podcast, we were talking about the Girls Rock Camp. The Girls Rock Camp was training all of these girls to play, rock and roll. And I remember saying at the time, like, in 5 to 10 years, we're going to have a bunch of really great female-fronted bands.
Yep.
And that's exactly what has happened. There's a lot of really great female-fronted bands around here. And, but you just have to wait for them to grow up and, get active. And
are we talking about Avery Burke here?
Well, I mean, she's one of them.
Yeah.
But there's also,
Bethany Doolin.
Yeah, Bethany Doolin. I mean, there's, Generational Wealth. There's a lot of acts that are not necessarily rock bands, but like just even, just solo acoustic folks.
Okay, so like Gabby Minton and Cassandra May Laurent.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Yeah, real, the newcomers. And those folks, if you'd been talking about it in 2013, they wouldn't have come up because they weren't doing anything, and so I feel like sometimes you just have to trust in the turnover. You have to trust that, you're going to lose some folks, but then you're going to get new folks. If the scene is any kind of, has any kind of vitality to it. The thing I worry about, and I will say this, and I'm trying not to be an old fart by saying it, I'm trying to be mostly analytical about
objective,
which is that, so for instance, Austin right now is having this issue where a lot of artists can't afford to live there because it's getting too expensive.
Yeah.
So their music scene is experiencing a dip.
Yeah.
Fort Worth is getting there.
On two fronts. It's harder to live here. It's more expensive.
Right.
And we're losing venues.
Yes, because it's so expensive.
Yeah, 100%.
So that is the only negative point I would make, is that we do run the risk of the turnover the turnover not happening because they end up going somewhere else because it's too expensive.
But where would you go?
Well, I don't know.
There's no, I don't know. Honestly,
weirdly, it's kind of a combo thing. Some of them are moving to these little hodink towns because the rent's affordable.
Yep.
Like, it's affordable to live there, and they're driving to the city to do things.
Yeah, and so they may still play here, but they
they're
may not
like
live here.
45 minutes outside of town,
And but like you said, where do they go? Because a lot of American cities are expensive. So, I keep talking about moving to Colorado, but it keeps being prohibitively expensive to do that.
It's unbelievable.
So, I mean, it's a thing. And also you have these sort of crosswinds of the income you make from music from things like Spotify or whatnot is so small that you do have to kind of make sure that you play a lot of shows and do a lot of merch and that type of thing. And a lot of artists, a lot of us are kind of very delicately balanced, on the line of making sure that we are open enough to the world to create something, but also have to take care of business, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And some folks are not as strong on the business end of things.
Yeah.
And so they can create, but they can't always promote and maintain as well. And that used to be what things like record labels would do. They would take care of the business end of it, and you would do the creative end of it.
And now they're like, well, if you have X amount of followers.
Right. So now what's happening is that there's a lot more people who are having to do all of it. And that causes some of them to just stop because it's too much.
It's too much. It's overwhelming.
And I totally get that. I talked earlier about how I haven't been active on the TikTok. It's because it's one thing too many.
Yeah, it feels like too much.
It's like I got to make the stuff, I got to promote the stuff, I got to play the shows. When am I going to have time to do the TikTok?
Yeah.
It's like somebody told me once, like, if you can make like one video per day.
Well, yeah, but who has time for that?
Right.
I don't have time for that.
Even
like literally, his day is like work, come home, Patreon, fix this, feed cats, dinner, bed.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I struggle with it on my level too.
Yeah.
So, Trista, are you going to piggyback off that, or have you noticed any big changes over the year?
Yep, I sure have. Well, yes, as you said, we are absolutely losing venues, but overall, like, there is a kind of, I don't want to be like super depressing, but it's a sense of, well, I'm not going to stop, but now I have to pick this shit up. Like, it's like they have to pick up a job, they have to pick up something on the side to help.
There's been a lot.
So just economics.
Economically, it's been way harder to maintain a career solo in general, solo as an artist, because if venues and businesses are not making money, they can't host musicians. They can't say, hey, we want you to come do a mural, or hey, come do a show in our place, because they can't fucking afford to pay to do that.
And I was at a place in Weatherford that I've caught you playing at before.
Remedy?
Remedy. And I walked in, I think it was a Thursday or a Friday night. And I asked the guy, I said, who's playing tonight? And he said, we're kind of leaning away from that because,
that.
And this is off the record on a recording, but, he told me it doesn't bring in enough people. So we're not going to dish out the money for it.
And some of that is because and this is what I'm bumping into a lot, is that people, even if you say, I want to go see this guy play live, but then like your rent went up, $300, and maybe you can't go see that guy play live. There's a lot of shows I don't get to see because I just don't have the money for it.
Or you're working so damn much.
I'm working.
The
or
energy
like
for
you
it.
have a show. How do you
so
do that?
I don't ever give people crap whenever they're like, man, I meant to come to your show, but I couldn't make it. I'm like,
I get
fine.
it.
You got stuff going on. But it does affect the venues when, and I've been talking to local booking folks about that, just like, you promote, and try to get people to the show. And there's always the Facebook thing of like, you got all these people who say they're coming. You're probably going to get maybe 10% of that if you're lucky.
Yeah, 10% would be great.
Like you have I think the general rule is like if you have like 53 people who have said they're interested, you're probably going to get about 10.
5.
5 to 10 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And but I think what that shows is people's intent versus their means.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Right.
they
So,
still want to come.
Because I'll do that. I'll be like, I'm interested.
Right.
And then I'll get to Friday night and I'll be like, well, I
Wheel?
can't go see all of these. Yeah. And I may not even be able to see any of them.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what I don't have a prescription for it, but I do think that it affects the art scene. It affects the bar scene. It affects
Restaurants.
It affects, and oddly, lately I've been playing more very, very non-traditional type of gigs because those are the only places that are able to do it, like Central Market.
Yeah.
Been playing at distilleries, been playing at places.
HEB, I've actually heard that HEB is going to start hosting musicians.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I find that I'm doing a lot more things that aren't clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's just because clubs just can't do it as much as they used to.
It's getting rough out there. And my message has changed from, hey, go see a show, to, hey, you're listening to this podcast. You're listening to Matthew Broyles and Trista Morris. And y'all obviously support this community. So do us a favor. Go grab some of your friends. You already go to live events. Yeah. You already support these artists. And I'm talking to the people listening to this
absolutely.
right now. Bring your friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
You already go to the shows. Bring your friends.
And
Even if it's
that's
like
what it's going to take.
And I do think that there are
or two or three. Yeah.
I do think there are a lot of folks in town
Bring them up.
because I think we often forget that just because we're all plugged into the local creative scene, that we just think everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
I was joking with a friend of mine, I think I know all the people who read the Fort Worth Weekly personally.
Bro, facts. And I got a lot of love for the Weekly.
No, I know, but I'm just saying,
they've been good to me. They've been good to a lot of my friends.
Insult.
No.
I'm just saying that I was arguing with a friend of mine about this. Like, we're all competing for the same 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's the same 1,000 people who do all the stuff. And somehow we have to reach out beyond that 1,000 people.
So
and that's my solution.
There's
Those
all
1,000
these-
people,
Yeah.
they've got to bring their family.
Yeah.
They got to bring their friends.
Yeah, and it's tricky because
And don't bring that aunt who's like, I don't know if you want to see a live.
well, but
band
she
tonight.
might
It's too
like it if you get her enough White Claws. She might be
Right.
Because so it's a funny thing. You get in the middle age and you get to where you got shit to do, right? Like my parents didn't go out at all when I was a kid. They were, Dad would go to work, Mom would, take her, and it was just like there was no. But as soon as we all left the house, they're suddenly going all of these shows,
And like they know his mom and his dad.
Like,
They're
they know-
Oh, yeah, no, I know Dooley and Wayne.
Yeah, they know as many people in the local music scene as I do. Yeah. But that's because they have the time and are able to do it, and don't have a bunch of kids at home trying to take care of them. And so, and when you look at who's out in the creative scene, what are they? People that don't have kids, the people who tend to be younger.
Yeah.
They don't have chronic health issues, and that reduces down the number of people who can actively go. But I do think that as a kind of a treat every now and then, it's like people who will go to a show at the Bass Hall or whatever.
Sure.
They'll go to, it's a sometimes thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If we are able to get those people who do sometimes things to also do sometimes things at local venues instead of just sometimes at big things like the Dickies Arena or whatever.
Yeah, George Strait.
Right, which no hate on George Strait. I'm just saying the tickets to go see
$500
Levi are much
lower.
$10. You know what's funny though about that? I wonder if okay, so I tried an experiment when he played at Twilight in Dallas and the B-52s were playing.
Or the old 97s.
Or old 97s, sorry. It was old 97s. I said old 97s.
They both have numbers in them.
Sorry, they both have numbers. Brain no worky. Anyway, old 97s were playing at the same time he was doing a show and he was doing a cover of one of their songs. I sent the old 97s a link to a video I had taken of him playing their song. Yeah. And they sent a bunch of their people over.
After the show, they came out to Twilight, which is
beautiful.
Because people were like, "You the guy," so yeah. But I do think that if you can encourage people who wouldn't ordinarily be there, some of them will get hooked on it. So Jacob Furr does a thing over at the Cicada where he has this Irish music night, right? Yeah. Where everyone just comes in and plays these Irish tunes. And that brings a different type of crowd than like a rock show will bring. But then they get in there and like, oh, this is actually kind of a cool place. Right. Maybe I'll come here another time. Yes. And I think that's true with... There was a guy I work with who didn't know that McFly's existed, for instance. And I was like, yeah, it's this Back to the Future themed bar. And he was like, really? There's a place like that? It's like, yeah, you need to come check it out. And I think...
And then isn't it funny, as loud as we yell about some of these things, that somebody could go, McFly's? 1980s Back to the Future?
Are you
It's crazy.
Wow.
But that's because we all think that everybody knows this already. Yeah. And they just don't. No. Because they're living in because we talk about like the sports ball people and all that kind of stuff. Like they're living in an entirely different world. Yeah. The people they talk about are not people I even know who they are sometimes. Yeah. Because you ever go do the thing where you go through the grocery store checkout and you see like tabloids and all the names on the tabloids are not anyone you recognize. But clearly somebody knows who they are. They wouldn't be on the front page of the tabloid. Right. And so there's these whole different universes of
little echo chambers.
What people think are important. And I feel like it's gotten worse even with music because there was an article somebody posted like, I think it might be impossible for somebody to be as big now as Michael Jackson was in 1984, right?
Right.
That's got to be a fact.
Because you had a sort of a singular media, like you had 5 networks,
and that dude was huge in Asia.
And like there was one path that everyone kind of had to go down, and you either made it or didn't. But now we have such a multiplicity of micro scenes, and there's people who are really famous for the nerdcore, for instance. Yeah, right. Yeah. So she likes the nerdcore stuff or the metal stuff, right? There's people who are extremely famous in the metal world or the nerdcore world
that you'll never hear of unless you know about it.
Yeah, no one else knows who they are.
Does anybody know who MC Lars is? No.
Right, but that's the thing. But there are people like when MF Doom died, there was a huge portion of my social media people who were just devastated. I had no idea who that was. Yeah. But
it took me a minute.
But within a certain portion of the world, that's a significant figure. And
I'm tagging him in this, by the way.
MF Doom.
Tag everybody.
I will. FYI.
But I do think. But yeah, I think often we get in this thing where those of us in the Fort Worth, I've already said it, but we need to assume that nobody knows who we are.
Yeah. Get louder.
Yeah. Get a little bit louder. Not obnoxious.
Or it's going to take those already established,
And that's what I think.
And some of them break through. So you get some of those folks like Maren Morris, I used to play shows with her, but then she kind of broke through that other level. And
if Maren Morris, where she is right now, was like, hey, y'all should go to McFly's.
But Leon Bridges does that. So Leon Bridges will be like, I'm going to, do a show over at Tulips or whatever, and so
you've named 2 people now that I want on the show,
right?
Oh, well, Jacob Furr and Leon Bridges.
Well, if you can do that,
I'm working on it.
Kudos to you.
Talk to Kristen Sobel.
Okay,
she grew up with him.
No, and I used to play shows with both of them.
Right? I know.
Kristen would be a great guest.
Bring it.
But it's like sometimes when you break to that next level, sometimes they're kind of like, well, now I'm only dealing with these people.
Right.
Now.
I'm on this platform now. Yeah.
But props to Leon because I think he is pretty. He reps Fort Worth all the time.
Nice. Love that.
He wears jumpsuits with Fort Worth on them and stuff like that.
Leon Bridges, cool. We got an 817 shirt that you're gonna love. Let me know. I'm bringing it to you for free.
Yeah. And Maren's been okay about it. She actually did a thing recently where she kind of quit the country music industry because it's gotten a little too crazy. But I think she may be trying some interesting stuff coming up, which I would welcome that.
I would like to see what she's going to do.
Well, they're all welcome on the show for
her
sure.
Her voice suited the country music, but I would like to hear her do something.
And it's kind of like the Taylor Swift thing. It's like, country was her way in. And then once you get in, then you can kind of do what you want.
Oh, there's no lines anymore. Yeah. You can be any genre. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up.
Yep. Wrap it up with Tay-Tay.
I feel it doing the thing. We're going to go 4 hours again if we keep it up.
Tickling.
But it's the Friendsgiving episode. No. I love this conversation. We could keep it going, but I've got to pack. I'm thinking in editing mode. Like,
no, you don't want to edit all. You don't want to edit all this.
None of this gets edited. Well, but I gotta pack them together. Yeah. So I got you and Casey and whoever. Right. I've got some people that are supposed to show up, but we'll see. It might just be us and Casey.
So you're an old pro at this now.
Well, definitely not a pro. I haven't hit 10,000 hours yet.
You have a building that has your logo on the front of it.
Through the help of some really excellent friends.
And thank you for them thank
Absolutely.
Those folks.
And I wanted to make sure and tell you guys, there's a lot of people that I reached out to that couldn't be here or whatever, but you're inside the list of people that I am so thankful for. Oh, well, you too, and you're always there for me. You and Trista both. Thank you so much.
And all of those people too.
Yeah. And so for my Friendsgiving, something I'm thankful for.
I love it.
And
you two guys.
We appreciate that. And we appreciate everything that you do. And I think there's a lot of goodwill that you put out in the community.
I'll give you my gallbladder when they take it out. I'll put it in a jar and I'll bring it to you.
I'm going to put this on the record. Trista, I don't want your damn gallbladder.
And I'm going to, anyone who's on the internet that she's trying to give her gallbladder to, don't take it. It's busted.
Don't take it. I'm paying the surgeon to let me keep it.
It's a lemon.
That's a high mileage gallbladder right there.
Don't take it.
I don't know if they'll take it out of me, but if they do, I'm just saying.
All right. So, I don't want to wait very long, but the next time you're on the show, and if you've had the gallbladder out, we need to know all the details.
I sure will.
All the
I'll tell you. It's far more interesting than meeting Harrison Ford.
Yeah, she sent it to Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
He's too nice to accept that gift.
Oh, I don't know if nice is.
He's a
probably
nice
has
man.
a pretty particular stance on accepting gallbladders from fans.
If he receives an igloo cooler in the mail, he's not opening it.
No, it's going to be in a pickle jar.
He turned you down on a hug. He didn't want a hug. I doubt he wants a gallbladder.
He was like looking around like, nope. Handshake's quieter. Handshake's quieter. Okay, handshake works.
All right. Well, thank you guys again. Yep. All your contact information will be in the show notes.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell anybody, shout out, where to find you?
Yeah, thematthewshow.com, artoftristastudios.com.
Art of Trista Studios. You can find me at Art30TX as well. So
yeah.
And you guys already know this, but if you'll tag me or send it to me directly. Trista's really good about this. You're getting better at it, or it's Trista through you.
Yes.
But anytime
we bounce off.
Anytime y'all send stuff to me, and if you don't see me post it immediately, just call me, text me, be like, "Hey, I really need you." I missed it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much, and let's do it again. And next time, no holds bar. 4 hours. We're going to talk about UFOs, conspiracies, the Loch Ness Monster, all of it.
Yay.
I love it.
All right. Thank you guys. And we'll see you soon. There we go.
Heat your headphones for
everything is cold. I should, right? Instead of like a towel warmer.
Headphone warmers. It's like, ooh.
I've got 50% of the Tales from the Fort podcast crew here. Jarrod, is it Teal?
What?
What's your last name?
Johannesson.
Teal. I was never going to remember that.
We would have been here all day.
Samsonite. Slappy?
Yeah. Slammy,
something
slappy.
Like that.
No, yeah. The upper 50%. So.
Dude, thank you for being here. Cheers.
Oh, yes, sir.
With our super black coffee, by the way. This is far too strong.
Man coffee. Probably gonna be too hot for me to drink right now, but
it's scalding hot. You gotta take the little baby sips at first, and then after it cools down in this 40-degree studio, it'll be palatable.
Oh yeah. Exactly. By the end of the show, it'll be perfect. So,
well, brother, thank you for doing this real quick.
Absolutely.
I know you've got Thanksgiving plans today, and you made a little bit of time for me, and I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
And you've got this is perfect opportunity to talk about your 50th episode.
Yes, sir.
Big mile mark for the Tales from the Fort podcast.
Yeah. It's going to be next Saturday, December 2nd. It's just going to be, we're doing YouTube Live. We tested it out last night. It seemed to go pretty good. I need to go back and rewatch the video today and just kind of check and see if there's any weird spots or anything. But I mean, I feel like it went pretty smooth. We had, I think, 2 or 3 viewers or something like that, but and one of them was us. But
this will be on your YouTube, and is your YouTube the same? Tales from the Fort on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and that's December 2nd. You said.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna have Jason back on. Jason Graham. He was on our episode 44, which has been by far our most listened to episode. He was just a very interesting guy to have on the show. I worked with him at QT, and he has stories upon stories, and just his attitude and approach to life. It's just fun as hell. So,
and what is he doing now? Is he still at QT?
No, he left. His wife does some real estate. I think he does that. What is it, like Toro or whatever, where you rent your own car out? Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
So there's an app called Toro.
Oh, yeah.
So Alex, his brother-in-law, that's all those nice cars and stuff he has over there. He buys those cars and then he puts them on Toro, and then people rent them. So he has that. I think it's a '63 Cadillac Fleetwood.
Beautiful. That
beautiful white car you may have seen over there.
I don't think I have.
Dude, I'll show you pictures after this. But
very cool. He's
got that where people can rent it out for like weddings or, just anything. So
I don't know that I've met Alex. He's the neighbor to the studio right across the street.
Yeah, you met him at Pouring Glory.
Oh, okay. He
was up there. Yeah, but that was kind of a casual.
Well, that sucks because I was going to do something weird. Like if I ever saw him out in the street, I'd be like, "Are you a cop?
Yeah,
you smell like a cop." And he'd be like, "What? Do I really smell like a cop?"
Nah, he already knows who you are. So, but
that won't work.
He'd be like, "You can't get me." But yeah, he does that. So it's just kind of he's just got. Like the stories he was telling, they're pretty raunchy, but man, it was a very good time. So we're planning on doing that live on YouTube next Saturday, probably around 7:30. I'm gonna try to send some invites or reminders or shit out.
Right. Make sure because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but just let me know and I'll blow it up on my side too.
All right, sweet.
Get some more people out there. So 50 episodes. Now, this is not your first podcast. This is your second one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one you did 37 episodes?
I think it was right around there. Okay. So that's about where we tapered off.
So this is a big mile mark.
Yeah. It's, by far the most episodes we've done, and it's actually a kind of a mile marker episode. So.
Yeah. And you guys have put together a pretty good little team. The Jarrods are fun to listen to, no matter who your guest is.
Oh yeah, I love getting referred to as the podcast that people come to if they want to have fun or whatever. It's like it's not a super, and it's so hard whenever people talk to me and ask like, "Well, which podcast about?" And I'm like, it's not really about
just
it.
Check it out.
I'm just like, here, just listen to it. But
and we were talking about Seinfeld right before we went on the recording.
Exactly.
What's Seinfeld about? Well,
yeah, it's just one of those shows like you just can't really describe it. It's just each episode. The thing I love about Seinfeld is just each episode you can tune in and it's a different set of events. You don't really have well, who's this guy or what this.
Follow any
so there's not a lot of like continuity throughout the episodes. I mean, there is to a point, but I was just like, man, and I kind of feel like that's sort of the way with our show is just you can listen to any episode, and just kind of pick it up. It's not like a continuation of a series or something.
100%. I think I've guested on your show 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you've been on there 3 times, then you guest hosted once, which that episode was lost. So
probably convenient. I think we sat there for 4 hours and just told fart jokes the whole time.
I know it was like over 3 hours, and it was such a good episode. I was so proud of it. And then I got up the next day, and then I listened back and realized that the webcam microphone recorded instead of my board the whole episode. So instead of these nice expensive microphones and board I've used, it used a little $30 microphone on my webcam. So I'm like, cool. So that's never happened before.
Yeah.
So
well, you'll run into that, especially like this mobile setup. I take it places, and it's happened an uncomfortable number of times where I've lost power.
Oh,
and
really?
The Rodecaster has no onboard memory.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
So if you don't if you don't turn off the recording, if you don't end the recording, it will not store it, which I think is insane.
That's good to know. 'Cause, I mean, I leave mine stationary, but I have recently started recording straight to my board because of that instance. I was just like, I'm at least going to have a backup copy. And then the computer kept doing weird stuff. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to record to the board because that audio copy's fine, and just transfer it over, upload it, and then be done. So
you're kind of a techie guy, aren't you?
Yeah, to the point.
Don't they make like a battery backup for lab like PCs where if the power goes out, it'll continue powering the devices for a little bit?
Yeah, they have like the powered surge protectors and stuff that basically has a battery in there, and that's kind of what it's meant for.
Do you think that would work with something like this?
It most likely would. I haven't honestly looked into them.
I'd have to field test it.
Yeah, because I remember looking into them back when I was like in high school and stuff. So that was a million years ago now, but. Yeah, that's kind of one of what their thing is, to where they can, if the power goes out, it has like a battery charge to where you can save out your computer and stuff. It doesn't just cut off. So that may actually work.
Let me ask you about your podcast, since this is 50 coming up. What have you have you noticed anything change drastically about either your process, or have you had any kind of epiphanies about the podcasting process over the last few years as you've been podcasting?
I've just, like, the other day I listened to our very first episode, not our pilot, but like the episode 1 with Chad on there, and just hearing how smooth we have, the kind of routine down now. It's a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more natural conversation of like, what do we say now? No.
Right.
Because I was kind of used to it, and then Jarrod, it was his first time doing podcasting, so it's kind of like getting him on board of just how natural it needs to sound and stuff. So we've definitely kind of come a long way with that. We've got like more segments on the show. I've got better intros and stuff to where it's a set thing for each thing. It's not like testing, let's try this intro this week or whatever. Yeah. So I've gotten that down. The guest selection is kind of, now that we've got a little bit of a following, we've had over the summer, we had a few guests actually reaching out to us, come on. And I was like,
that's a good feeling.
That was the coolest feeling, because Roan reached out for Ernie, because he wanted him to come on to promote Ernie Day.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll see if we have time in our schedule. I was like, yeah, we do. So I did that, and then got J-Boy on, and then Gabby Minton was on, and then JOE came on, and those were all kind of ones that we kind of got from that. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. So
nice.
That was definitely a cool feeling. And then me getting my confidence level up to actually branch out to where I'm not just asking my friends to go on the show.
Yeah.
Because for a while, that was all it was at the beginning, is like other podcasters that I already knew, or, childhood friends, or my cousin was on and stuff. And then now I'm actually like, feel like we have a little bit of, tread under our tires, to where we kind of like a legit podcast now, to where I can be like, hey, it's Jarrod from Tales from the Fort. Would you like to come on our show?
Nice.
And then they're just like, oh, yeah, anytime. And majority of people usually are. I mean, but a lot of times I'll send like kind of feelers out too, where I'll just message someone. It's like, hey, I'm not going to schedule yet, but would you be interested in the future? So that way I can kind of have a list ongoing, to where it gets to a point like, okay, I need guests here. So let's see. Okay, they said they would come on. So just kind of getting that confidence up. So
got to cut your teeth somewhere. But what I noticed right off the bat was the music community was more than willing to come and tell their story. So our first 10 episodes was very music heavy.
Yeah.
But most people that are working on a project really want to tell other people about their project. So.
Oh yeah. And I feel like the local music scene and local podcasters go kind of hand in hand, because we promote them, we show up to their events, and we become fans and stuff. So I see a lot of that intertwining, especially in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's great content too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, when I have time, going out to these live shows and taking some video and showing that off, and then especially if like they're going to be on the show the next week, or if they were just on the show, to help promote that episode.
Oh yeah.
And, as you make these friends, you want to continue to support them. I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they appreciate that. It's so hard for these musicians, just as it is for these podcasters, to get the message out.
Exactly, because same thing. There's so many out there. That market's so saturated to where you're just like, what are you going to be different? Why should I listen to your music over this person? So
yeah.
But, I mean, it's still meeting a lot of cool people out there too, because even that night at Ernie Day, I met a couple other people. I got introduced to Dank, so he ended up coming on the show. And then it's just, I love going to those events and stuff, because that's when I get to network, and I'm like, all right, here's my chance to really get into some of these people that I'm not, don't have their Instagram or whatever readily available. I'm like, all right, let me get in their face and be like, hey, you want to come on? So
some advice for our listeners and for you, if you haven't done this yet. First Tuesday of the month here, Fort Worth. I think it's Tom Martin. I always mess up his name, but they do something every first Tuesday of the month here in Fort Worth, and you can find them on Instagram as Here Fort Worth, and they do a mixer every month.
Oh, nice.
And it is such a great way to meet all the same musicians you've seen a million times and a bunch of new people you've never heard of.
Cool.
So, and then inside that group of people, you've got, small business owners and podcasters and all sorts of interesting people.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's always a good way to make some connections.
Yeah, because even at work, because my dad owns the antique mall over on Camp Bowie, Ties to the Past. Shout out. Shout out. So, but I usually carry like some of my stickers for the show on there because every once in a while I just get to talking to a customer and then kind of start telling them stuff, and we just get chit-chatting because my booth up there is a very unique one in there. It's almost like a Spencer's and an antique store had a baby. So those type of people I was talking to, like just what was it, Friday, I think, this couple was in there, and I was telling them about the disc golf stuff I do and then also the podcast and everything. So I gave them a sticker, and they said that they would check it out. I was like, hell yeah. Nice. So just kind of being able to promote yourself in there, because that's the lifesavers of stickers.
Yeah, just keep those in your pocket all the time.
Keep it on me.
My last round of stickers, and maybe you could give me some input on this. I haven't really polled the audience yet, but this last batch of stickers has the logo on it and then a QR code to our Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And, when I started passing those out, I was expecting to see like a little bit of a rise in the numbers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Really?
So, do you think it's a good idea? It doesn't seem to be very effective.
If it doesn't cost anything else.
Oh, they're expensive.
Oh, is it more expensive?
Because it's a larger sticker. It's almost a bumper sticker.
I mean, for me, I feel like I've never done the QR code on my stuff or anything, but I mean, I feel like I don't know if it would really boost it to where it's worth it. I mean, try it out once. If you didn't see big numbers, ditch it and move on to something.
But I don't do business cards. So
yeah, because that's like old school. That's like 90s stuff.
Well, and when I first started, I did do business cards.
Oh, really?
I still have some Fort Worth Roots business cards, but I never gave them out because nobody wants
Same.
them.
I had made some for Tuesday Dudes Day because I was like, I can list on the back all the platforms we're on, and then I never gave them out, and then they just sat in the box, and I ended up throwing them away. I was like, that was pointless. So stickers is kind of where it's at. I feel.
But I mean, I would try to give somebody one of my business cards. They'd be like, that's all right. Like, I don't need another
like
piece of trash.
I'll just take a picture of it.
What was that thing that was real popular there for a whole hot second? Like maybe you can still do this. I don't know. I'm going to sound really old here, but you could take your phone and turn on a thing and then just automatically share it to someone's phone.
Yeah, so that's there's a big thing about it right now. The iOS 17 update. There's a feature on that now where you can, if you have it turned on, if you're just in proximity, you can send something to someone else's phone. And a lot of there's a security thing going on and stuff. So I've seen a bunch of posts of that, but there's that. And I thought there was like a business card where you can just tap it to the phone and it would upload their information.
I haven't seen
I
a
feel
lot
like
of those
there was something like that.
Yeah, there was. And I almost bought one, but it was like, you got to buy the thing and then there's a subscription fee.
Yeah. It's probably one of those things that seemed like a cool idea. And then everyone's just like, why would I pay when I can just do this, or I can just put my name in their phone? So
what I'd like to do someday, and it's so prohibitively expensive, but do a business card, like a punched out of steel.
Oh yeah,
or maybe just aluminum or something, but just metal. You know, just metal, and maybe you punch your logo into it so you could see through it, right?
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I've always wanted to do that, but I never have.
I know that was me whenever I first started a podcast. Is I would get on Zazzle and create my merchandise, and I wouldn't create a ton, but I'd create like one or two things. Like, what would this look like on there? And so I had a bunch of koozies that had like Tuesday Dudes Day and stuff, and I'd do all that, and I would just go nuts creating all this stuff. And it's like, when am I going to use something like this? I have a tote bag with Tuesday Dudes Day logo. I was like, well, if I ever carry my board, I'm like, I have my studio at home. Why do I need that? So
well, I've done some field work in this department, and I'll tell you, out of all the goofy shit that I've bought to promote the podcast at events, and I mean, I've bought everything. Everything.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really just knocked it out of the freaking park were those stupid air fresheners.
Really?
We got car air fresheners. Did I ever give you one of those?
I don't think so, no. I've
only got like one or two left, and they're both spoken for. Shout out to Lance from Emo Otaku. Did I say it right?
Emo Otaku.
Yeah.
And ball bag.
He's spoken for one of those. So I need to order a new batch, but those are expensive.
Yeah, I think I saw those on Zazzle, and I did get one for Tuesday Dudes Day, but I don't remember if I ever used it actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be interesting, but that's the thing is like finding an item that you can get enough of to where you don't, you have plenty to pass out, but also keeping the cost down low.
Stickers.
Yeah, stickers is my, because the latest ones, which I got to give you, I got our ones with our little faces on it and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a couple of these.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if I gave them to you. I just found a bunch more. I was like, I need to start carrying these on me. But those I got, it was on some Instagram ad. It was like 50 stickers for $29 or $19 or something.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I was like, these are perfect. So
yeah, that's all you need.
Oh, yeah. So that's the fun part of it.
So this is an abbreviated episode. We had some homies come in and sit in for some short recordings so that we could do the Friendsgiving 2023 episode. One of the questions we asked, and this will be perfect for you because you work full-time out there at the Antique Mall.
Yeah.
And so you get to see commerce live in action. It's moving around you at all times. So what have you noticed kind of economically over the last year? Have you noticed business being pretty steady on the up or the down?
We've been pretty good. I have noticed like especially this year, like during certain periods, you won't have as much sales, especially like whenever it was back to school, you saw a dip in sales. Like I saw a more noticeable dip in sales at the Antique Mall whenever it was like, peak periods of Halloween or this or that, whenever people have to spend money on other stuff. It was almost like they don't have that extra cash this year. Right. So,
yeah. But
sales are starting to shoot back up right now, so especially for Christmas. So it's definitely good for a lot of the dealers and stuff. We've been Wednesday, we closed at 3, and we had one of our best Wednesdays in a long time. And then Friday, we had a really good day. We beat last year's Friday sales. And then yesterday, we had one of our busiest Saturdays in a very, very long time. So.
I would think that people on a budget would be looking for more frugal ways to spend their money. And an Antique Mall sounds like it might be a great place to pick up really cool gifts at a cheaper price.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff, like especially with our mall, we've won 4 years in a row the best antique mall in Fort Worth from 2020, 21, 22, 23.
Is this the weekly or?
I believe so, yeah. And we've got those awards. We've got the neighborhood. We've got like multiple awards and stuff. And I am a big fan of shopping my competition, like with podcasts, not even just considering y'all competition, but just kind of seeing what y'all do, how your process goes. I love just going to, Funky Panther Studio and just sitting in and watching them and kind of seeing all this stuff. And same thing with antique malls. I love on my days off going and checking out other antique malls because if I see something that someone's doing that makes sense to me, I mean, I want to integrate that into our mall so we can be the best possible.
Yeah.
And that's the way I am with all my projects and stuff. So I do that a lot, but just kind of checking around the area, I feel like our prices are kind of, pretty good actually. There's a few dealers in there that kind of have some high price merchandise and stuff, but a lot of them are running sales right now too. So and just going to other malls, I don't see as much. I'll go to one mall and then I'll go back a few months later. It's like the same stuff. We have a pretty steady and in and out like kind of the door because we sell stuff so good that we have those better prices and stuff. So I definitely feel like it's probably going to be a little bit more business going into Christmas just with people shopping more, out of the box and stuff. Plus, if you go to an antique mall, we aren't going to be crazy busy with all these people fighting over stuff like, Walmart and everything. So,
well, that's good to hear, man. That's the first positive report I've gotten out of anybody since we started doing the Friendsgiving thing. So that's really good to hear. I did see some videos of the Black Friday sales, and I'm sure this is isolated. Other stores, it probably wasn't the same all across the board. But they're showing this one video. I want to say it was a Walmart or a Best Buy or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they're at the doors, like getting ready, like to open the doors to let all the people in. They open the doors, and one guy just kind of like casually shuffles into the door.
I know. I saw it was 2 or 3 different people on TikTok that worked at Walmart saying that it's 6:30 and they're showing their aisles. It's empty.
Yeah.
And then people on TikTok going to Target and looking at the signs, it's Black Friday deals, and then they pull the original sign behind it. It's the same exact price. I
saw that.
And it was multiple things or stuff that it's 50% off, but then they have a new price tag on it to where if you look at it, they jump the price up from $5 to $9.99, so you're really still paying that. So a lot of people I don't feel like are falling for the sales this year.
Yeah.
So, which I'm happy for. I'm just like, maybe these people will quit screwing with it, because a lot of people will look at those trackers and stuff and they'll be like, oh, this TV is this much this time. But then if you look back on this tracker, it was cheaper than that in August and stuff. So they purposely raise the price and then they drop it drastically to where it's right about that normal price. So
seems like that ought to be illegal.
It's that, or I've also heard some of these TVs, if you
take the old guts.
Yeah, they take the old guts and create a new TV just for Black Friday that's going to suck because it's all crappy parts and stuff, and give it to you at a good deal, because they said research that model number, because if it's not an existing model number, don't buy it.
Right.
Which I was like, okay, that's interesting, because I never even thought of that. So,
well, I never got down with the Black Friday stuff. I just never did. I walked into I think it was a Walmart, and they were doing the grand opening thing, and I had just completely forgotten that it was Black Friday.
You're just randomly there.
And I walk up to the door, and the door opens, and there's like 3 employees right at the front door, like kind of dressed business like.
Yeah.
Like not the typical Walmart greeter, right? And they've got the rows corded off, you know, so that you have to like travel through the store in a certain direction and all that. And I'm like, what is going on? The guy's like, we're not open yet. And I go, what? It's Walmart. And this is back when it was 24 hours. So I didn't understand what was going on. And he's like, Black Friday. I'm like, Black Friday. Oh, like just complete. And he's like, you'll have to wait 5 minutes or something like that. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll get whatever the hell I needed tomorrow. Or something. Like, I'm not.
It's not life or death.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not bleeding out of my head where I need bandages.
So that's my one and only Black Friday story. But I just don't care to.
I've gone through that. I mean, certain places are kind of crazy. I went to a Lowe's one time, got there like 5 minutes after opening. I walked right in, got it, didn't have to wait in line, checked right out. I mean, those places aren't nuts. Home Depot is a little more crazy. Best Buy is usually pretty crazy, but it's just, I'm so over those people now. Like, if I'm at work, I have to be there, and I do it, but like, now I'm like, on my off time, I don't want to be around that chaos, especially in the holiday season. So
absolutely not.
Rather go home and chill.
The other question that we had for our Friendsgiving people was, what are you thankful for this year? Do you have anything that stands out to you whenever I ask that question?
I'm thankful a lot for just my community that's around me, like personal community, I guess, like friends, family, you know, people I've met over this year and stuff. It's just really cool, kind of. Because whenever I moved away to San Antonio for a while, and I just felt like really alone down there because I just didn't know anyone.
Sure.
And that's when I got into podcasting, but it was doing it remote with someone up here. So when I came back up here, I was like, that's the first thing when I started this podcast. I was like, I want something where we have guests, where I can have people over. I want them to record in person. So that was a big thing for me doing the show, because I really wanted to have that one day a week where it's just kind of like guys' night, where it's almost like we hang out and drink and just chit chat, but we record it and put it out for y'all to listen to as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just really thankful for all the people I've met doing that, and then just my existing friends and stuff, and just them kind of keeping up with me and everything. And because there's been, you know, hard times and stuff throughout the year, and it's just going to suck no matter what for anyone. So just having those people there for you, and just glad to have those people around.
Amen, brother. And I piggyback off that. The podcast thing has been such a good thing for me mentally.
Oh yeah.
And to kind of aid in getting me out of my introverted nature. I'm not somebody that typically would go out and do things, and I never went and saw live music. So the things that I do now in support of the podcast, which by the way I do just for fun now.
Yeah.
But those things were not part of my life before.
Oh yeah.
And I've met so many amazing people doing the podcast thing. It's been great. And whenever I kicked off the show back in 2020, I was going through some shit.
Yeah.
Which I've alluded to in this show, and I think I've probably told you offline some more of that story. But it's been so great. And I was down in Austin for a while, kind of after doing the show for a few months, and then I ended up moving down to Austin, and it was extremely I was very secluded. I didn't know anybody down there.
It sucks.
And people from Fort Worth or West Texas don't really jive very well with Austin folks. Like it was hard to make friends down there. But I did make some really incredible friends down there.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Austin people. But I understand, being fish out of water in a town where you don't know anybody, and it can suck. But the podcasting thing did help.
Oh yeah, because I moved down there in 2020, and then COVID hit and everything. So it was like, your chance to go meet people, that's not going to happen. You got to stay away from them. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. So
and I might have an unfair view of Austin because that's my experience of Austin was 2020 Austin.
Same. So we're kind of in the same boat where you got great food and you can get alcohol, at a drive-through and stuff, but you didn't meet anyone. And then the dating scene down there just wasn't my style and stuff. Dude, I was like, man,
I've got stories about dating in Austin.
I've got them about San Antonio too. I've got quite a few, and I've told them throughout many podcasts. So.
I don't want to dive into that this episode.
Yeah, we would have to do a whole separate episode on.
Well, Jarrod, I'm extremely thankful for you.
Yes, sir.
You're one of the, when I think of bright, fun-loving, awesome people, I think of the Jarrods. You guys are definitely one of the people that I note whenever I talk about awesome people I've met due to the podcasting situation. And you've been very supportive of the show.
Oh, 100%.
You're always coming out to
wearing
our
your
events.
wristband.
Oh, I see that. Thank you. Which I am not, actually.
The stickers you are still sitting on my table where you left them.
Nice.
Whenever you were there that last time.
You got your award proudly displayed?
It's on the shelf with the Power Ranger helmets.
Nice.
So the important stuff.
I was watching RAP podcast, like a clip from them the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting next to Megan, and I went, "Hey, look at this!" Because on the video they had that award that they got at our event was sitting there on their table. I'm like, that is so cool.
I thought about putting it on the table, but I don't know.
I don't think it would make sense on your table.
Yeah, because it's all black and stuff.
Yeah, your table is like chest level.
Yeah.
So like Osos Golosos, they've got one of our awards on their table, and then RAP, but their table sits way down
low. Yeah, they have that little coffee
so
table
makes
kind
way
of thing.
More sense. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
I'll afford a coffee table.
We're going to have to step up those awards. I was thinking about doing the please nobody steal this idea. I know we got some people out there
copyright
steal ideas from our show. But the big like WWE belt
championship
belts.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Dude, I eyeballed those. I almost pulled the trigger on it, and then I was like, man, I don't know, because I was getting weird feedback from the podcasters. Like I didn't know if anybody was actually going to show up.
Yeah, because it sucked. Just that weekend sucked for me because I had to bring my dog because my power issue and stuff.
Yeah, that was rough.
It was like still 100 degrees on the first day of fall. Dude. So I had to stay inside most of the time just because there wasn't a lot of shade out there for him.
And to the people that came out to that event and braved the triple-digit temperatures just to support us, thank you so much. It was awful. And we actually, the year before we did it, September 13th.
Yeah.
And that day it was 88 degrees. And I was like, man, it's still just a little bit too warm. Yeah. So the following year, this year, we did it a week later. So it was September 23rd. It ended up
being 100.
And it was 100 degrees. There was no way to anticipate that, but next year we're going to have a contingency day worked into it. Well, we'll probably still do it. Yeah, we'll definitely still have it scheduled for September.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, if it's raining, if it's triple digits, if it's, freezing temp, whatever the condition is, if it's not great, and we look at the contingency day that we'll already have worked into the plan.
If it looks better,
we're going with that. And I'll tell all the vendors, I'll tell all of our guests, it'll be on all the flyers.
Yeah.
Because we're not doing that again. Yep. That was miserable.
Because it was like I went out there, we made a round, then we went inside, and I had to sit down because especially with Murray, like I didn't want to burn his paws or anything. No. And then we just sat inside and drank and ate and stuff. And then Sam came in there and Alex showed up, and then you came in for a little while, and it was still a blast, like seeing all the people. But it was just a little too hot to stay outside. So.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll have a contingency worked in there. But bottom line, thank you so much for your continued support, and I appreciate your friendship and. Anything we can do to ever help you guys. If you've got a post, like something coming out, and you want help promoting it, tag me, and that way I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up on our social media for sure.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, definitely.
Mess with this audio here. There we go. Well, is that the right one? That's the right one. All right, folks, we're out of here. Jarrod, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And you're off to get some Thanksgiving goodies from Mom.
Sir.
Y'all are having lunch here today.
A little Sunday Thanksgiving.
All right, so we'll get you out of here. And can we get you and the other Jarrod on the show, like do a legit episode real soon?
Yeah, we can do. I'll have to get with him to see because honestly, we haven't booked our 16th, but that's your party here. So I need to get him tell him that that's what we're going to do instead of doing a show. But yeah, I'll get with him soon, and we'll definitely get a show going.
Cool.
So.
December 16th at the Fort Worth Roots studio. If you guys need directions, DM me, email me at media@fortworthroots.com. Just get a hold of me. December 16th at noon going down. First time we're going to have the studio open to the public. Got some finger foods, live music with Richard Keller, and just passing out free hugs and hanging out. All right, bud. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon.
Awesome.
I am here now with the wildly talented Jeff Zero.
Hello. Are we running?
We are.
Oh, cool. And I'm here with the wildly handsome Andrew Turner.
You're the second person to drop that during Friendsgiving. I guess it's the unkept, totally overgrown hair. Maybe that's what's doing it.
That and the pheromones.
The pheromones?
The pheromones.
Yeah. Well, that's just from rubbing up close to my lady.
So it's really her pheromones that make you the handsome devil that you are.
That's got to be it. That's the only thing that makes sense.
That's the only thing that makes sense. Well, I'm glad we had the chance to chat. This has been great. We'll do it again.
All right. We'll see you soon, guys and gals. Thank y'all for being here. We'll see you next week. Of course not. Of course not. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
He was just showing me an animation he did. It was the cringiest shit I've ever seen. But you're getting ready to incorporate some of your new talents into other projects, and you're just always doing something, Jeff.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I'm only going to be here a very limited amount of time.
Same.
Right? So, like, how many things can I do? I want to do all of the things. I know I'm not going to get to do them all, but just like, I want to do the cool things while I'm here.
Now, maybe I misinterpreted this, but you sound a lot like me. Like, I have no interest in being perfect at any one thing. I just want to kind of suck mildly at everything.
Sort of. Sort of. I don't want to. I
never really got anything right, but I tried it all.
Well, you know, that's the thing, though. Perfection is a lie.
Sure.
You know, if the universe itself were perfect, at the moment of the Big Bang, if the universe were perfect, every particle would be evenly distributed. None of it would have pooled up into clouds of dust or gas and formed stars. So if the universe itself is not perfect,
who are we?
Who are we
to strive for that?
Just strive for. You know, don't let perfect keep you from being very good at something, or even kind of good at something.
Yeah,
do it. And if you already know you'll never be perfect, so hooray, that pressure is gone. It's just
now get after it.
Now get after it. How good can you be at it?
Well, and I think a lot of people struggle with the whole failure to launch thing, because it's not ready yet. You know, it's not the way I envisioned it. It's not perfect, and so they never get their feet off the ground. They never get the project started.
Yeah. And I'd rather when comes my time to pass over the chili water, I'd rather have somebody go, I don't know what that guy did in this period over here when he was doing, I don't know what that was about, but he sure did a lot of shit, you know?
Where can people find your most recent music video? Because that is dude, if I was going to, if somebody walked up to me and said, could you please describe to me Jeff Zero? I would just show them that music video.
Actually, this is, hello, listeners of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Currently, the video of which Andrew speaks is really, really cool. It's awesome. But it's on lockdown, because I want to, I want to find the email address of the Fort Worth Weekly to see if they want to premiere it. Like who wants to premiere the video?
So the video I saw, people can't see yet?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
No, but maybe this is a time. Maybe you can call your local radio station and talk to the DJ himself.
Premiere it here on Fort Worth Roots.
Dude, yeah.
There you go.
We could do that. But it's, actually it's a Denver Williams and I did it through his video kind of thing. And it's partly stop motion animated, and it's all shot in Fort Worth.
It's amazing.
And it features Poncho the Love Caterpillar. And
it hurts
Godzilla.
my soul that I can't point people to watch it right now, but as soon as that thing is out, you let me know, and I'll be sharing it with the Fort Worth Roots podcast listeners.
Maybe I'll send, you know what? I'll tell you what. I will send you a link.
Okay.
And you can put it here.
In this video?
In this video.
Well, you got to do it quick, because I'm putting it out tonight.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link as soon as we take the headphones off.
Okay. It's downloadable?
It's not public. You can't go to the Jeff Zero Music channel and see it. It's there. You got to have the link. But it's really, I'll send it to you.
As long as I can download it, folks, it's going to be playing right now.
Nothing in the universe is ever how it seems. Tell me what you heard and I'll tell you what it means. I think I read about it in a girly magazine. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. Valley high, mountain low, I can Tina turn a short foot on a show. Ask me anything and I'll tell you what I know. I'm gonna go to heaven cause the Bible tells me so. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. When you catch a tiger, grab him by the toe. If you hear him holler, you gotta let him go. And everybody understands it's just the way it goes. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. 1, 2, 3, do, re, mi, A, B, C, it's easy. It's like counting up to 3. Might be good for you, but it isn't good for me because it runs on paranoia and it reeks of gasoline. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. Tell me how to lie, and I'll show you how to steal. Tell me what you know and I'll tell you how to feel. Tell me what you need so we can finalize a deal. And I know it sounds funny, but I don't want your money. Hide it, hide it, ho. Everywhere you are is everywhere you go. Tell me who you are and tell me what you know. But you don't have to bother me cause I don't wanna know. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it. When it comes down to it, I don't wanna do it.
And there's a break, and if they're watching the video, they just get to see.
Well, and I can give you the video file too.
And for those listening, they just got to hear the song. But if they went to the YouTube, they got to see the video.
Yes,
if you send it to me,
I will. Wow, that was really amazing. That was movie magic. How did you do that,
How
Andrew?
did you do that, Jeff?
I don't know, man.
Well, I enjoyed it intensely. And, it was just, start to finish. I'm like, yeah, Jeff, this is so Jeff. I love it. So, but yeah, man, you're always doing something. You're always creating. You're a very busy man. I am. But I feel like seriously, I really do. I feel like I have a limited amount of time. I know,
right?
And it's the plight of anybody trying to create something. You just never have enough time.
Well, you have enough time if you. My other thing that I have learned is just do the things that bring you joy, that you want to do, and be around the people that can help you do those things.
Yeah, but then I would get fired from my regular job because I wouldn't be there. If my boss is listening, I love my job.
In your creative space, like the time that you have left in your creative space, don't. Just do it. Just do it. Find some people that want to support you, and if you can't find anybody to support you, then do it anyway. And if it is not great, do it more. Mm-hmm. My first time I tried to walk, I fell over. I'm sure a lot of you did, right? But the more I do it, I hardly ever fall anymore.
Nice. Love that. Well, we're doing the Friendsgiving episode 2023, and we've had some excellent guests on, and thank you so much for being here because you and several other people that couldn't be here, and then even more people that I didn't bother contacting because we had such a full lineup. There's a lot of people I wanted here today, but I'm really glad that you made it out, and I appreciate you giving me some time, so thank you.
Well, I always love talking to you anyway, just talking to you in general. And if I can strap these headphones on and think, oh my God, maybe Andrew actually wore these recently. it just puts me in a place for the rest of the week.
Good. And you're one of the people I always look for whenever I go to live events or any event around town, because you make a point to go out and show your support and be a part of the Fort Worth community. And so there's a list of people I look for when I walk in the door, and 9 times out of 10 you're there.
Yeah, it's always good to bump into you, man. Like at the Fantamello show, I didn't know that you were going to be there with the first time with the new lineup, and like I plopped down and like I turned to my left and I happened, you're like a row over and a seat back.
Yeah, and there's a lot of that, and I've told people I've been kind of repeating the statement for a few months now, but like there's a group of people that go out to these shows, and whenever we go to a live event, we know just about everybody in the room. And it's not because I'm somebody, I'm not. It's because it's the same people all the time, and we got to start telling those people you need to bring friends to these events. You need to drag your mom out, drag your neighbor, grab the mailman, whatever, bring them to these shows.
I'm not sure grabbing the mailman and bringing him into a show.
What's he going to do? He's a mailman.
There are some jurisdictions that frown upon just grabbing somebody.
Get in the van.
Get in the van.
Bowl of candy in the back.
It's not so much the kidnapping and taking to the show. I think it's you're interfering with the delivery of mail.
Right. That would be unfortunate if somebody didn't get that overdue second notice bill from whatever utility.
So I'm saying if you got to grab somebody to bring to a show, not the mailman until he's done,
There are some worse options, though, which we don't need to cover. But
no,
yeah, okay.
No, because this is a family, family show.
So tell me about your Thanksgiving, man. Did you get lots of leftovers in the fridge?
Actually, this year I didn't do anything.
Okay.
I decided to stay home by myself and the dog. Shimmer, and I went to the dog park. But
Shimmer? Is that the name of the dog?
Yeah.
I haven't met her.
She's a hot mess. She almost came today, but she didn't come.
Dogs are welcome here, by the way.
Oh, that's cool. But I just really decided to use this Thanksgiving to really sit down and contemplate the things that I'm thankful for, instead of just running to somebody's house and eating some turkey and drinking some beer and watching football.
Love that.
So it was kind of an introspective Thanksgiving.
Did you walk away with this introspective behavior? Did you hone in on some things that you're extremely thankful for?
Yeah, I'm thankful that I live in a world that lets me make and record music for other people to hear. Beethoven didn't have that luxury, and he was a pretty good musician, So I'm thankful I live in a time where I'm not just I am screaming into the void like everybody else, but you have a chance to actually put the record on the turntable and to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for, again, through music, I've made some really, truly good friends, and a good support system. I'm thankful that, I have the good fortune to have a job that allows me to fund my endeavors when I don't have to struggle like some people do. I look at some very talented local musicians who are working 2 or 3 jobs to try to pay for that recording time,
right?
And taking gigs all over. So I'm thankful that I don't have to. I'm thankful for what I call my extended family. It's the people who are in my life because I want them there, and they're in my life because they want to be, not because they have to be or they're genetically required to be. So a lot of things to be thankful for.
Love that. We talked at great length about this before the show, but one of the other questions that I've been asking everybody during the Friendsgiving episode is changes that we've seen around the city in the last year. And I want to encourage you to try to reach for some positivity, because a lot of people have been talking about, the downslide of the economic kind of situation here in our community, and it's global. But anyway, that's been talked about a lot. But have you noticed anything kind of in the Fort Worth area that's changed over the last year?
I just to go back to what we were talking about further, economy good, economy bad. Inflation up, inflation down. Bar open, bar closed. Venue open, venue closed. Band form, band breakup. That's always happened. That's always will. And right now we're in a part of the story where a lot of people are struggling.
Yeah.
But the thing that I like about Fort Worth is if you go to meet and greets, they will be full of people meeting and greeting. Not cliques, not only the metalheads, not only the country bands, not only the alt rock bands.
Full spectrum.
Full spectrum, right? And you like on Facebook, the Cicada posted, hey, we're struggling. Come on by and have a beer. Start hanging out at your local venue.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. And what happens is people do when they can and they will, when they can and when they will. But, I look at Fort Worth as a place where if the economy got super bad, and a bunch of venues closed and a bunch of venues in Dallas closed and Denton closed and Waxahachie and wherever, New York, Cleveland, whatever, that Fort Worth has a vibrant community of people who are connected.
Yeah.
And
so the most important thing about Fort Worth is that we really do collaborate and work together to whatever the situation is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the exciting part of it. I mean, that's you go to a meet and greet and you'll see people who are, maybe people who cover, maybe you'll see podcasts there or other musicians there, right? You'll see sound guys there. Mm-hmm. You'll see, other venue owners there. You'll see people who are in ancillary t-shirt people showing up and whatever, and just making those connections, and it's like, well, cool. Well, now I know there's somebody in Fort Worth. If I need a sound guy, and I met that dude here, he's part of the community that feels involved enough to participate. So yeah, man, I think that's what Fort Worth has going for it. We have people that are willing to, I go see bands because I like them. And if it's a night where there's two bands that I like and one of them has some people I know in it, I'm going to go support my friends because I want them to be successful. Right.
And by the way, it's a badass time for next to nothing.
Man, I went to go see, who was it? It was Dusu Soviet Space 20-year reunion.
Is that Cicada?
Yeah, no, it was at Lola's.
At Lola's.
Spring Palace, and then this really awesome band that I would have never ever thought to see called Joe Gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Never, just the name. I was expecting like an Ugly Kid Joe or something. I mean, they were amazing. The whole night, 4 bands, 4 hours of great local music, $10.
Yeah. And a great venue.
Great venue. Go to House of Blues and order a beer.
That's it. You're done. Yeah.
And you've exceeded your $10 music budget that you would at Lola's or Cicada or Magnolia Motor Lodge. How many great venues? Twilight, that's a cool venue. You got a chandelier hanging. Where are you going to go see a show for $5 or for free or for $10 and
get that level of entertainment?
Get that level of entertainment. You're not gonna.
It's easy here in Fort Worth.
It's easy.
And those are some great music venues. And then we've got places all over town. Sports pubs, restaurants, bars. I mean, places that have a little stage set up in a corner or out in their patio area.
Even Central Market.
Central Market, yeah. That's a really good example. Like, why you wouldn't expect that.
No. I was
going to pick up groceries looking for live music, but you can do it here in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I was a few weeks ago. Denver Williams was at this Central Market. Mm-hmm. How much did I pay for that show? Nothing. I got a craft beer from inside the store, nice. And then I got something from the deli, and I brought it outside.
Mm-hmm. Another reason to shop Central, I guess.
Yeah, you never know.
I've heard, maybe it was talked about in this episode, I'm not sure, but somebody was telling me that HEB's starting to flirt with the idea of having musicians play at their
I support
stores.
That, man.
Pretty wild, though, right? I mean, walked into Albertsons on 7th Street whenever I lived down there, and they had a freaking bar. No, not in Albertsons. It was It's a Tom Thumb, I think.
They had that at Central Market. They had it outside. You could get beer. You can get a draft beer or a wine outside.
How wild is that?
You know, and people were just like strollers and old people and just young people and the whole thing. Just everybody was like, "Oh, cool live music," and it was like one of those reality videos. You know, it was just like people would be like walking by and they would hear live music, and they would just stop and just sit down. You know, it's like, wow, that's really cool.
It's wild. It's real wild. Tell the people listening where they can find Jeff Zero.
www.jeffzero.com is the official website.
Nice.
We just released a new vinyl record called This Was Now.
Which I have a copy of.
Which you have a copy of. Let's see. On all of the other things, it's at Jeff Zero Music, like Instagram, at Jeff Zero Music, Facebook, at Jeff Zero Music.
You got a TikTok yet?
Man, I don't understand the TikTok.
Well, and I've had people, wag the finger at me like, you're not using TikTok the way it's supposed to be used. Like, my videos are not formatted for TikTok, but I post it up there anyway. So,
like, isn't it
whatever.
Like 10 seconds? You got like 10?
Yeah, they got long format now. You can do a 10-minute video if you want.
Yeah, that's one more thing I got to log into and upload stuff to. Like, I'm just now starting to fill out the YouTube channel because people, I have come to accept that people are on their phones, they're listening to music, and if they can watch a video, hence we started making music videos. Yeah. So I'm eventually going to do a video for all of the songs on this record. But
yeah. Well, before we end this segment, I just want you to know that I appreciate you, not just for being here today, but your friendship and your support. You've been so extremely supportive of the show. And, if I had have known how beneficial this was going to be to me as a person starting this podcast off, I'd have done it a long time ago. But the friends and the connections that I've made by doing this show, they're priceless. And you're one of those people. And I appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I feel very much the same way. I feel like, I feel like we've become friends.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I don't have to have a news update in order to reach out to say hi, or I think we can just talk and hang out,
sit back and talk shit.
And I appreciate that because there's and that's one of the things I was thankful about. I'm thankful that you let me on this thing, that somebody can maybe tune in and. Like, oh, Lord, those two again? Lord. Because when we get together, I think there's two people. There's people that really kind of like what we do, and they're like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Well, I was commenting whenever you walked in about the Friendsgiving episode and how long the segment went with Matthew Broyles and Trista Morris, but we connect.
Yeah.
And it's the same with you. And we definitely, we've done it before. We'll just sit there and we'll just talk, and that's priceless to me. I love episodes like that. I don't know how the listeners feel about it, but whenever we go on a 3-hour yarn, that's a good day for me.
Well, the 3-hour tour was how long the SS Minnow took.
We know how that ended.
We know how that ended. They did get rescued, though, didn't they? Finally in the 80s or the 90s?
I think so. Yeah, I'd have to go back and check the historicals. That was one of the shows that we watched all the time at my grandparents' house. It was on the playlist. Never got tired of it.
Awesome.
Freaking Gilligan. With his BS.
Do you remember the episode with the mosquitoes?
I don't know that I remember any one episode, to be honest with you.
If you have to watch one episode, now it was filmed in the 60s, right? So they had, they had the Beatles, you had the Monkees, you had all of the Paul Revere and the Raiders, those costumed bands with the haircuts, and the Hermits all dressed in the same. Well, they crash landed or ran out of gas, the Mosquitoes, and it is just like this cheesy 60s rock band.
That's hilarious.
Lip syncing on doing a concert on the island. It's fantastic.
Because that's what you do.
That's what you do. If you get stranded on an island and a rock band shows up, you set up a stage and they do a concert.
That's what Jeff would do.
That's what I would do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get you back on like real soon and do like a full 5 hour long recording?
Sure. It's anytime, man. I love coming out here. I love the facility. People should come out and check it out. It's really cool.
December 16th, open to the public. You gonna be able to make that one?
I will absolutely be here with bells on.
Nice. And bells on will be good because it's kind of a Christmas party. So yeah.
Right on.
Now you are actually required to have some bells on.
All right, Andrew. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys, and we'll get Jeff back in here real soon. All right, see ya. We're doing a Friendsgiving episode, which we did last year, and I thought it'd be fun, so I called up some of my homies, and the first two just arrived. Casey, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
What have you been doing?
Just taking care of shit like I normally do.
Nice. Excellent. Did y'all have a good Thanksgiving?
We did, actually. I spent it with her.
Nice.
We ordered Denny's.
Always a very stable choice. You know exactly what you're going to get out of Denny's.
Yeah, well, I normally spend Thanksgiving in Hawaii.
And I normally spend Thanksgiving in San Diego. And we both got sick because of him.
We're good. Don't worry.
Good.
Yeah, no, everyone's clear. But we weren't able to travel for that reason. And Thanksgiving in Fort Worth kind of.
We went to a show. We went and saw Sally. Who played?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look their names up. They were awesome. Like anyone older than me that like plays the guitar is amazing.
Yeah,
they were like two old dudes.
Oh, we got a lot of that.
We got Jenny to come home.
Yeah, Jenny Mac was hanging out with us last night.
Nice. She get on the piano.
She got on the accordion.
She gets on everything.
Yeah. Very talented.
Not funny.
I'm saying she can play anything.
He's talking instruments. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's talking instruments. Jenny Mac is extremely talented. We actually have not had her on the show yet. I've offered a few times, but she's a hard one to pin down. She's always doing something.
Not hard to pin down.
Well, for the Fort Worth Roots podcast, it's been kind of like that. Yeah. So what are the plans for the remainder of the Thanksgiving weekend?
Just probably hang out with you for a little bit, and then maybe pop back into McFly's again.
Okay.
Check on Josh.
What's going on at McFly's tonight? I know y'all posted something, and I shared it, but it's already flown out of my brain.
Daniel Katzuk usually plays there on Friday nights, but he's not tonight. He's playing at Binion's.
You know more than I do.
I don't even know where Binion's is.
It's in Arlington.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't know.
It's like Narnia. It's like Narnia.
Narnia?
Arlington is like.
Oh, it's really far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys like each other.
I read that entire book series, the whole Narnia thing. The Lion,
all 9
the Witch.
books. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah. Grew up on that.
I found the whole C.S. Lewis books when I was a little kid in the garage attic, and I made a little, because I love the book so much, I made a hole for it up there. And
nice.
Yeah.
Well, that tells a lot about you.
And you've still got it all?
Like
yeah. Well, it's in my mom's garage, and it was also really funny. Is I was doing this house, and the father's like, "Hey, there's a drug room somewhere in the middle of the house." So they built this weird. I'm going to say this on the radio, aren't I?
Yeah. You sure are.
Anyway, I looked at the scales of the house, and I found of this spot where this guy was using grow ramps and growing weed.
Oh, you did tell me this.
And so
in the center of the house.
Yeah.
And you called it a drug room?
Well, that's what I mean. I don't know. It was a hidden room.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I smoked weed because I had trash bags. I was throwing away trash bags of weed.
But you can't smoke like fresh flower, I thought.
I don't know what I was doing.
Just kind of went for it.
I went for it and I read C.S. Lewis.
Nice. So first time trying cannabis.
All right. He just ate the leaves
and then got after
No, I put it in my pipe tobacco. Like my pipe.
Why would you have a pipe at that age?
For tobacco.
Yeah, I used to hang out at coffee shops and smoke a pipe and ride my motorcycle around.
What a weirdo.
Oh, he's the cool kid for sure.
No, he's that No.
Tobacco products are not cool.
No.
Kids.
Anyway, it was super awkward because I don't know how to smoke.
Yeah.
That was my point.
And I had this weird little fort, and my mom came out the garage.
God,
and it was like
weirder.
She's like, "Why does it smell funny in there?" And I was like, "I have 14 trash bags of weed up here, and I'm gonna throw them all away tomorrow."
And so you sat back and read all the C.S. Lewis books while you're up there?
I got through like a couple chapters.
Yeah. And that's how you found C.S. Lewis for the first time?
Yeah.
Nice.
I also found all my dad's check stubs.
No, stop talking.
I don't know why they're up there.
God. That's where they put them.
Mr. Smith has some explaining to do.
Hey.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming by, and the Friendsgiving episode we did last year was a collaboration between a bunch of different people that I just kind of had pop in and do a quick little episode with me, but opportunity to talk some good about Fort Worth, things you've seen change over the last year, and maybe some plans that you have for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
Either individually or for McFly's.
Oh my gosh.
Him? He built my house.
Nice. Here in Fort Worth?
Yes.
Awesome.
She's over Henderson.
Okay, yeah.
1404.
Don't tell everyone. Shut the fuck up.
I can't cuss on.
Sorry. Why are you telling people my address?
I'm sorry. You say job name. I think address.
That's a big street. That's a big street. Lots of things going on.
Sure, it's somewhere on Henderson. But Casey Smith built my home.
Very nice.
And I think there's a difference between a house and a home.
Yeah. He built your home.
He built my home.
Nice. Very nice.
And did a very, very good job of it.
Yeah, I sweat and bled all over.
Okay, whatever.
What I did.
So where were we going with that? How did that house pop into the story?
Sorry.
No. It's totally fine. We chase rabbit trails here, but I got to try to bring us back.
Well, you started it, so you go.
Bring it back.
Well, you started with.
Let's go back to Fort Worth then. What have you guys seen around Fort Worth that's changed over the last year? Anything positive or negative?
That was the point.
I wish there's more.
We can't park. You couldn't even park in front of my house.
Good point.
So things have become. I mean, I think that gentrification, and I hate that term, but it's a real thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Fairmount used to be a lot slower, and now I have people parking in my driveway for Heim barbecue.
Yeah. Well, you see that all over the place, right? I mean, it's just nonstop. You see new apartment complexes popping up everywhere. I mean,
literally,
just on the edge of River Oaks, where River Oaks meets Fort Worth on White Settlement, that whole area. New apartment complexes on the river. The old VFW building's been turned into a barbecue place. I mean, it's totally just night and day different. Kind of in the last 5 to 10 years, right?
2 years.
Yeah. Last couple of years have been pretty accelerated.
Yeah. Get off your phone.
Get off my phone.
Just looking up something important, I'm sure.
Doubt it's important.
It's a habit.
I was going to take a picture.
Yes.
Because I think this is pretty cool.
We're going to take a bunch of pictures for sure.
Oh, wow. That sounds really... Don't threaten me with a good time.
So what about McFly's? Have you noticed any differences over the last year with McFly's?
I mean, we're getting a lot of traffic. We're getting a lot of new people. A lot of it's because you and just... We were just on Fox News, and people come in and...
Fox 4, right?
Yeah.
I met her, the lady that came out to do the Johnny 5 coverage.
Oh, that was actually a different one.
Was it really?
Yeah,
okay, we've had multiple
I was
out
on
there.
Fox News 5 days in a row.
Damn. That's good advertising right there.
Stop bragging.
I'm not bragging.
I say keep bragging.
He's such a name dropper, I swear.
I'm not.
You are.
What I'm noticing with my flyers right now is I'm getting my base crowd. It takes, like, when I thought of it, I said it's going to take 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's just for me learning from doing the the chat room, the usual, the Bullet Owl, the warehouse, the Live Oak, like just all being a part of all those places. It takes a long time to get your crowd, and and I'm honest, like it's cheaper to drink at home. So what you want is you want to go see your friends.
Yeah.
So
get out, be social.
Yeah, you want to
see something beside the inside of your house. Yeah.
Yeah, you just want to like casually walk into Miss whatever or so and so and see them, and then figure out a way to have a conversation with them. And I'm building that clientele right now. The military guys are my base right now. Like they're the best. Like we hang out.
The base is your base.
Yeah.
No, but I think that your base is actually changing because
it is because of music.
A lot of people are coming in.
People are moving into this area.
Yeah. No, but they're enjoying the music and the vibe of the place.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this a few times on the show. There's more than one type of person that goes to McFly's.
Yeah.
You'll get a large military group that'll be there, several nights out of the week, and you might have 4 or 5 Joes. You might have a whole squad of guys there.
Yeah, they're super
from the military base. Young, fit guys rolling in there, sometimes 20 of them at a time.
Yeah.
But then you got the Lockheed Martin folks that come out there. You've got
the women in prison.
Yeah, I've ran into that. I've seen the women's prison guards out there, and locals from around River Oaks and Fort Worth. So, yeah, you've cornered a bunch of different demographics.
That's right.
It's not just one thing, I think, because McFly's is a spectacle. You don't just go there for a drink. You've got, and listen to me. I mean, everybody knows you're a sponsor, so I sound like I'm really trying to sell it, but it doesn't need to be sold. But when you go there, it's more than just getting a drink. There's so much cool stuff that's been added to McFly since you took that building over and cleaned it up and turned it into something that's really fun to be, to go to. Not just to go there to have a drink, but to actually just hang out and enjoy the vibe.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying watching different people come in and like become the thing I love the most about it is watching people be able to start to become friends with people.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite thing about a bar is seeing people get to know each other.
Yeah. And that's happened a lot for me. I go to McFly's now, and almost every time I know just about everybody in the room. Now, that's, the base. But then new people come in, and I don't know them, but then I'll meet them.
It depends what time you come in. You go in there at midnight, you're not know fucking anyone. Excuse my language.
It's hard for...
It's like all of a sudden, it's like 7th Street is happening. Like all these people are like coming in there and like realizing that it's more fun to hang out in a small bar than it is to be on 7th Street. Mm-hmm. It's like...
Yeah.
No, not the bad 7th Street people. I'm saying like... I'm just saying people are the people that like...
Sorry, I didn't. That was an inside
thought. The distance between 7th to McFly's is like the great filter, None of the shithead crowd from 7th Street is showing up at McFly's. I've never seen that.
Like stop at Conlon's and then go on to.
There's a few places like Rabbit Hole, or not that there's anything like Rabbit Hole.
For example, I've been getting a lot of party buses.
Oh my god!
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's well, you're not there late at night.
Yeah, that's true.
When we hang out, I'm usually done by like 7.
Same. You won't catch me at McFly's past like 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's just no way. But that's any place. It's not just McFly's.
I know we're a little bit older, so we're all like, "Hey, night."
Yeah, my bedtime is approaching quickly. For me, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean,
no. I'm pretty sure me.
But the demographics is I'm watching it change from like it's becoming a little bit more of a social place. People are trying to figure it out because we have no drive-by traffic except for military.
If that gate's open.
Yeah, and then that's when I built the place because the gate was open, and then because of COVID they closed it, and for some reason I got this bar stuck at this like empty gate.
Yeah, and for people that haven't heard us talk about it, you opened McFly's. You were scheduled to open kind of at the beginning of 2020. I think you delayed it a little bit.
Yeah, my grand opening was the day they shut bars down.
So like April.
I think it was
March.
June. I think it was June 2nd.
Yeah. Rough time to open a bar.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there like, I'm looking at my phone. Everybody's like, I'm like, this is a joke, right? You can only be open up to noon. And I was like, what?
Nobody's going to a bar.
Yeah, I just went up there and I gave all my employees all their checks and I paid everybody in advance and I just cried. I was like, I can't open.
Shit. So wild.
Because other businesses that have been open got like I don't know what it was called, like they got checks to help people out to like be closed, but I hadn't opened yet, so I had no previous revenue from it. So I had to pay all my employees.
It's called like the PPP or something like that.
Yeah, like the PPP loan, whatever it was. And I didn't have any record of it.
Right.
So they're like, well, you don't get any of that.
You don't qualify for it.
Yeah. And all my other friends are like, oh, we're getting all this money. And I'm like, shit, man. I was like, I'm just going to do this out of my pocket.
Yeah. I got really mad about that too, because I was like,
she owns a, tell me what you do.
Nothing.
No.
We'll wait.
I raise children.
Awesome. For a foundation or?
No, I run a Montessori school.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Are you familiar with Montessori?
I am vaguely. I've never been involved with one, or I don't have children, so.
Yeah, but I don't have children either.
Can you explain to us what a Montessori school is?
Absolutely. It's like my most favorite thing to talk about. But I don't want to like hog the.
No, that's what we're here for.
Dr. Maria Montessori was the first woman to receive a doctorate in Italy, and it was in education. And she said that no child is wrong. We just have to change their environment, and what we have to create is an environment of love of learning.
Okay, so adapting to the way the child needs to learn rather than having
follow
the
child.
Okay,
absolutely.
Very cool.
But we're not hippies.
Is that the kind of the label you get?
I
sometimes?
mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, y'all are just. Yes, that's absolutely the label, but nobody understands. But this is how I was raised, because my mom started the school that I own. And I'm okay.
I'm just being nice.
I know. But creating a love of learning is the most important thing. And I don't mind being wrong ever. If you can tell me why I'm wrong, I'm learning something.
Right.
And I don't get mad about it. I'm just like, well, thanks for telling me.
Yep.
Explain it to me.
That's an important skill that I wish more people had.
No.
You can. I cussed earlier.
Yeah, it's okay to cuss. It's all right.
But you have to let children learn at that age to.
What age do you teach?
18 months to 6-year-olds, but those kids have brought back their kids to my school. Again, they went there. They're my age. I don't have children of my. I haven't like birthed anyone.
What's the name of your school? Unless you don't want to talk about it.
The Montessori school in Camp Bowie.
Okay. Right on.
We call it the Little Green Fence.
Okay. And how does, if people wanted to, are you guys currently enrolling more families, more children?
Absolutely, if they're cool.
So there's a vetting process.
There is absolutely a vetting process.
Okay.
Because if someone comes and says, how long can my kid be there? I'm like, that's not the first question you should ask.
Yeah.
Because I'm very inherently Montessori, and child raising is very different. I think a lot of people dump their kids somewhere. That's not me.
Yeah. like people just dump their kids at school or daycares or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And you don't treat it that way.
That's not me.
Yeah.
And if I sense any of that, then no way.
Yeah. It's not a daycare.
No.
Right.
No. It's a partnership. It's love. It's family.
Yeah. That's awesome. And do you guys have a website or social media where people can find more information on that?
I mean, I don't. No.
No? Okay.
I have a website, but I mean, I'm the little green fence on Camp Bowie.
There you go. That's all you need. Excellent.
I never have marketed. We go by word of mouth.
She doesn't need to.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's excellent. Love to hear that. Well, let's close it out with things we're thankful for. I know it's a little bit hokey, but hey, Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
What's something this year that you guys can clearly say you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for just new friendships and just being able to love.
Yeah.
And take care of people.
I get that. You've fostered a really positive environment at McFly's, not just with the people that visit the place, but the family of folks that you've got serving our community when they walk in the door. I mean, I think your entire staff. And there's a happiness, a light nature to everybody that's up there, and that is reflective of the community that you've built there at McFly's. So I can see that, and I can see the love, man.
Right, love is good.
Don't do that.
I did that for you.
Don't do that voice.
I liked it. I'm gonna save it as a sound bit.
Oh my God, I know the baritone.
Anything big that stands out to you that you're thankful for this year?
Not a lot, but I'm actually, yeah, I will say, I have I've known a lot of musicians, but I've also grasped their journeys. I've been to different states. It's been like 5 months.
Of journey, yeah.
Yeah, with Daniel Katsuk. Went on tour with him. Sounds like a groupie, but I wasn't. I love Brandon Lee, and we've all known each other for years. We're all family. So I've really appreciated music.
Yeah.
And actually seeing it and witnessing it, and Casey brought music like into my living room.
Yeah.
A lot.
He knows a few musicians, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know they were going to walk in with it.
Ready to play.
I'm ready to play.
Yeah, she's gotten a couple really good personal concerts from people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As a present.
And yes. And I think I've just been really connected to music lately, and Case knows that.
Music and nature.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what we should be doing instead of worrying about bullshit, but we have to. Was I allowed to say that?
I think bullshit's okay.
Let me check. Yeah, it's good.
But also, we have to pay the bills.
Yeah, for sure. Plight of our existence.
I hate my bills.
Dude,
I
know.
I hate my bills too. You tried to pay my bills earlier today.
The bills are slavery.
Don't say that. Don't
sorry.
Say that.
Can you edit that out?
He does no editing anymore.
It's okay. It'll be fine. Well, guys, I'm very thankful to have you guys here today. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. And Casey, we got to get you back on for another big ass 3-hour-long episode. Got to bring some homies in here.
We'll do it.
Casey told me that you were very handsome.
Well, thank you, Casey.
Was I wrong?
No, you're absolutely not wrong.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
So.
No, it's not about to get weird in here.
All right, and that's all the time we've got for today, folks. Thank you so much. And we'll have another guest in for Friendsgiving. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. And thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll have to probably stop by McFly's before we call it a night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Them's rules.
All right. She already kind of knew it was going to be a rough day because the hours were different. It was going to be a quick turnaround. It's just going to be a longer week. But to top things off, the dog threw up on the couch that she just cleaned for Thanksgiving, and her boyfriend insisted that she put a headset on first thing when she wakes up this morning because he couldn't handle the fact that she wasn't included in the Friendsgiving episode. Good morning, babe.
Good morning.
Thank you. We'll just do it for a minute, and then I'll quit my shenanigans. I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for doing this. So, what I've been asking the guests on our Friendsgiving episode is changes that you've seen in the community over the last year. Just if you have any. If you don't, you can just be like, pass.
Changes in the community. I don't know that I've seen any.
Yeah. Perfect. We'll pass on that one. Things you're thankful for.
I am thankful for you.
Hell yeah.
Being such an amazing boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for the dogs and Jack's not puking on the sofa most of the time.
Well, he did this morning.
He did this morning. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Thankful for family.
Yeah. We had a good little family get together.
We did.
Not a very large gathering, but it was a good one. And because there weren't too many hungry mouths there, we've had leftovers every meal, every day since Wednesday.
We have. And I normally have a 3-day rule on leftovers before they get tossed.
I submitted for an extension, folks. I was like, look, I know you have a 3-day rule. I'm going to need you to extend that a little bit. We got a lot of groceries here. And they're too good. They're too good. There's too much.
I had it 4 days in a row, and I'm done. So you can have at the rest of those leftovers.
Yeah.
It's going to make you sick.
I'm gonna have some today, and then I'm going to pack some up and take it with me to lunch on Monday, and then I think we need to throw it all out before it kills me.
It needs to go today.
You're probably right.
Yeah. You know I am. I made it on Wednesday.
But I also know that, like, my mom would, that she'd leave that stuff in the fridge for a week, probably.
I know there's people that do, that just make food and eat leftovers for a week, but
yeah,
it's not good for you.
Yeah. So
3 to 4 days is my max.
So folks, please in the comments, let us know, how many days do you allow your turkey leftovers in the fridge before you throw them out?
I'm saying not even turkey leftovers. I think that's just a good debate
Just
in general. Leftovers
yeah.
and how long before...
God damn it. And the dog just threw up on the couch again.
He's fine. He's looking it up.
Fuck.
I'll just wash that pillowcase later.
I feel like I should apologize, but it's your fault, Jax. Quit throwing up on the couch.
He's an old man. He's like he drinks all this water and then he just like burps up liquid.
It's really wild. It was weird to watch. The one this morning, it's like he had a sprinkler in his mouth and it just went off.
It's news in the last couple of years as he gets older. I think he just drinks a lot of water and
he's a boxer mix.
Yeah, pit bull boxer. Yeah.
I don't know why I can't ever remember the other part. He looks like a lab to me, like a little bit.
I've definitely passed him off as a few different breeds to get him into some apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one I saw most recently, I think I sent it to you and Mom and Melissa, was that he looks like the Dogo Argentina.
I don't know.
I'd
have to see pictures.
Yeah. I'll look it up. I'll show you right now so you can see. You can give your opinion.
And then Birdie, she's a full boxer.
We think so.
And she's just an angel. The only thing she does wrong is eat her own shit in the yard.
Yep.
If it wasn't for that, she'd be perfect, I think. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dojo Argentino?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Like?
Got a picture of one with a butterfly on its nose. It's ridiculous. All right, babe. Well, I just really wanted to make sure you're included in this.
Thanks, babe.
Because we've been very serious about making you part of the show, and our schedules have just been insane, but that's going to change soon. So
it will. January 8th.
I'm just playing with dog hair on your shoulder.
I will be on a new schedule, and I will have off weekends once again.
Yes.
So I'll be more consistent after these next few weeks.
I'm looking forward to that for the show, but I'll also just so that our schedules are more similar. We'll still be off, but
yeah, the hours
closer.
will be off, but the days will be.
Okay.
You better.
All right. Well, we'll put the Roadcaster away. We're both still trying to wake up here, and before we go, I got to tell you. I've been telling all my guests this, but you're very important to me.
You're very important to me.
Top of the tier.
I'm glad I made it to the top.
I love you very much.
I love you very much,
and I'm so thankful that we met each other and that we apparently get along really well. Yeah. Love it.
Me too.
So.
This is a testament that I'm doing this.
I know.
Before drinking this coffee.
And before murdering me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it away.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Was that fun? Did you have fun? Stop throwing up on the couch. Do it on the floor. Don't stare me dead, motherfucker. Guys, thank y'all for listening to this week's episode, our Friendsgiving 2023. Don't forget, Wavy Digital will be our, presenting sponsor at the December 16th Christmas party, our grand opening at the studio. From noon till about 5. We're probably going to hang out later than that, but I'm only committing to 5. So noon to 5 is when you can count on us being there. It's going to be a good time. We've got a Christmas tree at the studio, so if you want to bring a ornament to hang on the tree, you can. You don't have to. Just thought that'd be fun. We're going to have Richard Keller. He's going to be there playing with us, a little solo act there, and unless he wants to bring a friend. I can't remember where we landed on that part of the conversation, but anyway, we'll have live music out there for you guys, and whenever he gets tired of playing, we got the boom box, so we can keep that going. We invited the neighborhood. I went and passed out flyers today. So, yeah, it should be a good time. Please carpool. Don't bring one car per person. Yeah, we've got some parking, but not much. So, if 20 people show up and they all have their own cars there, we'll be in trouble. So, anyway, help a brother out. We do have overflow parking, and I have not cleared this with Casey Smith, but I'm just not going to ask. I figure this is good for his business too. We'll be using McFly's as overflow parking and ferrying people back and forth if we have to. Just a little idea I had recently and didn't clear it with anybody. So we'll see how that works out. It's going to be a really good time. We're going to have a lot of different little finger food options. And what else? There's a photo booth. I put together a little photo booth with boxwoods, the boxwood panels and some hanging down lights and stuff. It's going to be cool. So it's actually kind of redneck, but I think everybody will appreciate it. I hope you will. I'm really excited about you guys just coming out and seeing the studio. This is something we've been working on for a really long time. So right off the bat, Wavy Digital, you heard I was talking about that at the beginning of the episode and kind of throughout the episode. But Wavy Digital does social media marketing, photography, all the stuff that you need if you are somebody that has a band or a small business or anything that just needs help getting the word out about your brand and your business or your art. You want to talk to Giona Scott over there at Wavy Digital. You can find her on Instagram at Wavy with 2 V's, WAVVY Digital, and see what she can do for you. Also, I'm going to talk about crew wear. You can find this on the website, the Fort Worth Roots, FortWorthRoots.com website. Under Trusted Sponsors, scroll down until you find crew wear. Click on that link, and it will show you the 817 shirt that you see me rocking all the time. You can also buy these shirts up at Pouring Glory. If you don't want to get them online, if you want to go have a tasty burger and pick up one of these dope shirts, you can get them at Pouring Glory. So just swing on through there, cut out the middleman. What else? Okay, more sponsors. Pouring Glory, since we was 1001 Bryan Avenue in Fort Worth, Texas. I was out there this weekend for the chili cook-off and the Truly Handmade market that's been going on fairly frequently, and it's getting bigger and bigger. I saw Jack Daw out there this weekend. Do you know how hard it is to get Jack Daw to come to your event? Let me tell you, it's not easy. Damn you, Jack Daw. You'll have to reference the Yana Renee episode to get the inside joke as to why I'm cursing Jack Daw. Anyway, you guys need to check it out. Pouring Glory has always got something going on. These markets are getting bigger and more frequent, so those are a lot of fun. There's always live music at these things. It's dog friendly. They shut the street down that borders Pouring Glory, and they've got vendors out there. They've got vendors in the parking lot. Way bigger, way better than anything I've ever put on as far as markets. So if you're thinking about the size and the type of market that I put together whenever I do my events, listen, I love my vendors that come out to my events, and we have a great time. But the folks at Truly Handmade, whenever they put on an event, it's hard to compete with that. They do a really good job. So go out there, Pouring Glory, just any old day of the week, but keep an eye on their social media. We try to do a really good job of promoting their stuff too, but there's always fun stuff going on out there. And if that's not a good enough reason for you, just the food, the beer, and the atmosphere is a good enough reason to head out there to Pouring Glory. And I'll say this right now, just one time, and I won't harp on it, I promise. We lost a lot of venues. We lost Lola's, if you can even believe that. We lost Twilight. We lost downtown Cowtown at the ISIS Theater. And there are a lot of other really, really awesome venues that are talking about closing down, folks. So, and listen, I get it because I'm in the same boat. It is tight right now. You can look at all the numbers, as far as how our economy's doing, where our cost of living's at, and it's bad, and it's affecting everybody. And it's not up to us to make sure that these businesses survive. It's not. It's up to the business owners, really, and the people doing the marketing for them, right? But let me just put it to you like this. If we don't support these people when they need us the most, they'll be gone, and they'll be gone fast. And just so you know, this is not a Fort Worth issue. It's happening all over DFW. And that's just what I have optics on. That's what I can see. It's definitely happening all over the country. It is expensive right now. It's hard to live right now. So my suggestion, my plea, my request is that whenever you have that compulsory desire to just pop in somewhere for a quick snack or whatever the idea is, you're going out for dinner, just try to shop local, guys. Really. That's what it's going to take. A little bit more conscientious. Is that right? Is that the word? Put a little more thought behind what you're doing with your dollars. And I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not your daddy. So I have no business telling you what to do with your money. But I do know this. I love these people that are trying to make our community something special. And it kills me that we lost Twilight. And it kills me that we lost Lola's. And it's just going to be an awful, awful place to live if we lose every other wonderful place that we have in town. I mean, if you just take just a minute to think about what that looks like. The only place you got around is Chili's, Taco Bell, McDonald's. That's not a world I want to live in. So help me. Help me help you. Just help. Go to these places. Don't extend your budget. Don't go out of your way. But instead of going to McDonald's twice this week, go to Pouring Glory once this week. Don't go to Chili's. Don't go to any of these big chain restaurants that, they could take a loss for 2 years straight and still be fine because they have so many different restaurants. But our local mom and pop places, it's not like they will eventually go out. Bro, they can disappear overnight, and we just saw that. It is so scary. It is absolutely terrifying. So just be cognizant of that. Okay, I'll shut up. Anyway, that's Pouring Glory, and they're amazing, and you need to go check them out. Body Machine Fitness, 2300 West 7th Street in Fort Worth, Texas, offers a truly one-of-a-kind fitness experience. Your first class has already been paid for. Go to bodymachinefitness.com to schedule your first high-energy cardio strength group fitness class with the best-in-industry trainers, cutting-edge audio, and lighting systems. Show up early or stay after the class for the IR, sauna, and nutritious snacks in the lobby. You just heard a little bit about this place because we got the man himself on the show today, Mr. Casey Smith at McFly's Pub. You can find it at 6104 LTJG Barnett Road, Fort Worth, Texas. It's such a weird address. Just type McFly's Pub into your Waze or Google or whatever it is you use. It pulls right up. It's going to be in the River Oaks area, still in Fort Worth, right next to the military base. It's a 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area, fire pit, hangout, and bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, jumbo Jenga, or catch a live event with local musicians on stage multiple times every week. And Tommy Luke, still doing that open mic on Tuesdays. It's a lot of fun. If you're a musician, this is the place to be. If you are somebody that likes to watch musicians work out some material, this is the place to be. So check it out. McFly's Pub. Tell them Fort Worth Roots Podcast sent you, or something like that. All right, Cowtown Nutrition. These homies are located right off of River Oaks Blvd, 5430 River Oaks Boulevard. They offer a healthy alternative to that compulsory fast food craving. You can also load up also load up on your favorite Herbalife product and learn about their fitness groups that they hold on location at Cowtown Nutrition. Check them out on Instagram at Cowtown_nutrition. Yeah. What else we got? Come on, Andrew, get it together, man. We're doing good. We got Wood Post Metalworks. December 16th, if y'all come to our event, you'll get to see this, but we have this beautiful, badass 48 inches by 48 inches LED backlit plasma cut steel sign hanging off the front of the studio, and I'm so proud of this thing. It's so beautiful. They did an incredible job, and they can do an incredible job for you too. At woodpostmetalworks.com, use offer code podcast817. They specialize in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair or installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. That's woodpostmetalworks.com. My voice is starting to kind of fall out there. That's okay. Onward. Halk Walker Originals. Go to halkwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts. Also, laser engraving to customize just about anything you can think of. They did our mugs. Big hit. Everybody loves our coffee mugs, the Fort Worth Roots Podcast coffee mugs. We got those from Halk Walker Originals. She did us a solid on the pricing and got those out to us in a very timely manner. So go to halkwalker.com. And guys, these are folks that do stuff locally as well. You know, you don't have to buy everything from China. You can get a few things right here in our hometown. It's okay. You can buy it here too. Better quality, and it doesn't have radiation or lead on it. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. RoofingSolutionsHouck.com, 817-882-6520. He will be at the event. You can talk to him in person. Got some questions, want some free advice? Bug him. He didn't tell me I could tell you that. I'm telling you. He'll be there. You could bombard him with questions. Roofing Solutions, you can find them on Facebook or anybody else that's got a rating, and you're going to find that they are the highest rated roofing company in the DFW area. There's like 5,000 registered roofers just in the DFW area. The registered ones. How are you going to pick the right one? I got an idea. Go with a guy who has been in the business for himself for 14 years, and before that, he worked for the people that make the shingles, and before that, he worked for his father, who had a very, very well-known and reputable roofing business that served the community for a very long time. So this guy's got roofing running through his veins. 817-882-6520. You can get them online at roofingsolutionsHouck.com. What else? Did we get them all? Which one did I forget? That's everything. All right. Well, guys, I hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And if you didn't get a Thanksgiving, or if you're not going to get a Christmas, and you need some community, you need to hang out and meet some people and just feel social and get a little bit of that holiday spirit, we're going to do everything we can to make you feel at home and make you feel loved and make you feel a little bit of that holiday spirit. December 16th at the studio. Love to have you out. We'll be taking pictures, decorating a tree, listening to live music with Richard Keller, some finger foods, and passing out free hugs. So come get you some of that. One last time, just running through the sponsor list, make sure we didn't miss anybody. We got it. Okay, cool. I'll stop. Free to attend, and we're going to be doing it from noon until 5. We'll probably go later. After party is going to be at McFly's. I just made that up, but it's true. We're going to do it. That's where the overflow parking is going to be too. Casey, if you're listening, I guess this is me asking you. He's got a ton of parking. So if we have to shuttle people back and forth, there's parking in the streets as well around the studio. I just would rather keep people out of the streets. We'll see how it all goes. It's going to be madness. But we'll have fun. And we'll take lots of pictures. And we'll have just the best time ever. I'm nervous. Can you tell I'm nervous about this? I'm a little nervous about this. It's gonna go off without a hitch. No problems detected. Absolutely. Okay. What else? I think we're done for the night. I will apologize to you guys. This episode is 2 weeks overdue. I think I hit a little bit of a burnout. Getting ready for the event meant that I had to do a lot of work at the studio, and between that and the job that I work in the real world, just went through a merger, and we've been trying to figure all that out. It's just been a really fun last few weeks. So, not an excuse, if you're going to be the guy that does a certain thing, and people can count on you to do that every week, every Monday, for the rest of your life, you need to stick to it. You just need to make sure that you don't break your own rules. So, and I mean, I was hospitalized with COVID, and I didn't miss an episode. That was a while back, but I had so many episodes saved up that I was able to, from the moment I found out that from the moment I started feeling sick until after I was done getting better, I had enough recordings saved up that I was able to continue working on the show and never missed a Monday, even with COVID. So for me to sit here and tell you that I missed 2 weeks on the podcast, that's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Yeah. I was in the hospital for 2 days, and I still did it. I still got it out on Monday. All right, folks. Y'all are the best. I am so thankful for you. December 16th. Come see me. And I'm out. See ya.